regulated online gambling website.
Second year out of North Dakota State to the sideline. Here goes Lamb. He gets free on the inside. C.D. Lamb. Touchdown.
1440. And the Oilers Nation YouTube channel.
Here's the 1-2. Jankowski to Schumann. And the ground ball won things. 3-2 win for the Oakland Athletics. One more win for the Oakland fans.
Well, a fantastic, positive Friday. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook, streaming live, also at sports1440.ca. Wherever you get your apps, you listen to the Stingray app, maybe you use Radio Player, iHeart. Thanks for taking us with you wherever you go. It's fantastic. Online, on the radio, on YouTube, Facebook, X. Great. Lots of opportunities for you to talk some sports with us today. And as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca and the Lotto Max. It's the Matthew Garon Lotto Max tonight. $32 million. We'll just come up with the obscure numbers. And, I'm not even going to say the amount anymore because I think our audience will know, or they might not know. Be a fun game. Matthew Garon. I was going to say Shaquille, but that's kind of too obvious, I thought. So we went with the Matty Garon Lotto Max today. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And speaking of PlayAlberta.ca, you know what the line in the game last night was, Connor Halley?
5 points.
5 points.
They're smart at Play Alberta.
But in a lot of places, I'm like, I'm like, what? So no one wins. You don't lose, but it's a tie. Who likes that? The proverbial kiss your sister, which is obviously offside. Not good. So there you go. Now we got a loaded show for you today. We're going to kick it off with a Hall of Famer. We're going to bring in Damon Allen. We're going to talk about the quarterback position and the importance of reps for young quarterbacks. And, Damon Allen could run, but he's also a thrower. Kind of like Trey Ford. It's stunning to me how many people are like, oh, Trey Ford runs too much. I'm like, huh? Look at how many carries he has. What are you talking about? Trey Ford does not run too much at all. It's not even close, to be honest. He is not a guy who's running for his life all the time. Not remotely close. So I find that odd that people still will repeat, oh, Trey Ford runs too much. No, he does not. Not at all. So we'll talk to Damon Allen, though, just about the evolution of a quarterback, and obviously you have to be a thrower, but in the CFL, it sure helps if you could, get out of the pocket. Hey, Damon Allen, the Elks, they won a Grey Cup on the play of the Sally Rand. Remember the Sally Rand back when Damon Allen was here, quarterback for the Elks? Man, they ran that play to perfection. It was unreal. So we'll talk to Damon Allen. Mike Stelter, Ben's dad, will join us. Today, we'll talk about Ben's Cup, an opportunity for some young players to get in a fun tournament. So we'll talk about that with Mike Stelter. Wanya Gretz will be by. We're excited for this. Pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians. He is only the 5th Edmontonian and area player to play in the majors. Eric Sosi will join us at 3:20 today. That guy's on fire lately, striking out the side. He's playing great. Awesome to see. So we'll talk to him about what the thrill it has been for him basically for the last 3 weeks. Of course, he made his MLB debut on September 4th and has just continued to get better. His numbers just keep improving. It's awesome. So we'll talk to Eric about that. Also, did you know that there's 2 pitchers currently in MLB from Edmonton. Did you know? Do you know the other one? Let us know. 833-401-1440. I'm sure some of his buddies out there know who he is, but I'll see if any of you do. We'll have one on the show today. Might have to get the other one next week. It'll be great. But so we'll talk to Eric in the 3 o'clock hour. Doug Brown, of course, the Elks in Winnipeg tonight, taking on the Blue Bombers. So former CFLer, he was a force on the D-line. He'll join us, talk about the Bombers. 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Troy Stetcher, the defenseman for the Edmonton Order fans. I think you're going to like this interview. We pre-taped this with Troy. Did it outside the room. And you know what? Stetcher, I like players who believe in themselves and aren't afraid to say it and aren't afraid to speak their mind. Didn't say anything negative about anything. Just spoke openly and honestly. I think you'll really like that interview with Troy Stetcher coming up at 4:20 today. Spec will be by. Low Tide, of course, we'll be talking lots of Oilers and CFL, NFL, MLB playoffs. It is the final weekend of Major League Baseball. We for the most part have the playoffs. We know that the Yankees are in. They clinched the AL East last night. Now them and the Guardians are still battling for first place. The Guardians are 1 win behind them, so we'll talk to Eric about that. Houston Astros also have clinched. Then you got the Tigers and the Royals battling. Baltimore is in. They haven't officially clinched the first wild card spot. All they need is 1 win out of 3 games this weekend, and they will for sure be the number 4 seed and have home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. The Minnesota Twins are on life support. It's not been good. 3-7 in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Tigers went 9-1. They've won 5 in a row, and now they're 3 games up on the Twins. The Twins have to win out this weekend, and the Royals will have to lose out, or the Tigers lose out for the Twins to get in the playoffs. Seattle was officially eliminated last night, so that's not good. So they are out. Over in the NL, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Brewers are in. The Dodgers clinched last night. San Diego, not officially clinching, but they're really close to getting the number 4 seed. And then you have the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. And that's pretty close. The Braves are 1 game back of the Diamondbacks and 1 game back of the Mets. And the Braves and the Mets have a double header on Monday. Oh, nuts. Now, there's a small percentage chance that they don't even have to play those games if they've clinched beforehand, but it seems unlikely. So we will see where that goes. Bad news if you're an LA Kings fan. Month to month was the announcement today for Drew Doughty. He's got a fracture in his ankle. Heard it on Wednesday night in that preseason game. A play that happens so many times in hockey but never ends up in a result like that. So that is some bad news for the LA Kings. Month to month. So I was looking up for if it's just a fractured ankle and there's no other damage, it's usually 8 to 10 weeks. Usually. Now everyone's different. So that puts you at end of like December 1st at the earliest. But if it's month to month, man, that might not be until January. And that might really limit Doughty's chances of playing for Team Canada. Because I think he's in the mix. The right defense for Canada, it's pretty deep. You have Cale Makar. You had Doughty. You have Pietrangelo. You have Bouchard. You have Dobson. Oof. Pretty good. Colton Parayko. Some good Canadian right D. I won't be stunned if we see potentially maybe 4 righties. If one of them can play the left side, no problem. It is definitely something you can look at. (833-401-1440) is our E-Well inbox. 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, Doughty out. The Boosh bomb is in. Well, I think Evan Bouchard is going to get a long look for sure. That would be huge for him. What an experience that would be. I know some say, you don't want him playing. I totally disagree. Just being like when Marilyn Lemieux talked about how the 87 Canada Cup really changed him because he got to play with Gretzky and he learned so much from Gretzky in that time. Now, Gretzky was still in his prime in 87. And Lemieux, of course, had been in the league a few years, played well, but playing with Gretzky talked about how it just, it showed him just how hard the great players have to work. Because Lemieux is a great player, one of the greatest of all time. And Gretzky, what Gretzky did was he got the most. Now, he had a lot of ability, but man, he squeezed every drop out of it all the time. That's what made him so great. Because if you would look and people, he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the biggest, didn't have the hardest shot. So what? He was super smart. But his work ethic was off the charts, which is what you need to be a great player. There's very few great, I can't even think of one great player who doesn't have a high work ethic. Now, they might be a great player for a year. I'm talking a great player career-wise. They all have just a next level of work habits. Gonza, what did you make of last night's game? Are you surprised? Like, I'll say this. The Giants for years had no creativity offensively. Man, they were lining up neighbors all over the place. I'll give them credit right now. Their play calling is pretty impressive for a team that, they got one receiver. It's, they don't really throw to anybody else, but they can't stop him. He lines up everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the creativity you have to have when you have, one guy you are going to target so much. I know Wendell Robinson was getting in there, had 14 targets compared to Neighbors' 15. But yeah, and Malik Neighbors is the guy. That's why they drafted him with that pick, 6th overall. Like, he is such a phenomenal talent. It's tough to see what happened to him at the end of the game with a concussion. Hopefully he'll be back ready to go next week. But yeah, the creativity is there. It's really benefiting Daniel Jones. I mean, he completed just under 75% of his passes. Obviously, they got to find a way to get into the end zone. I think maybe next you're looking to replace Saquon because I don't think Devin Singletary is the guy in that backfield. But for the New York Giants, they got to find a way to finish it once they get into the red zone because that's just where it's not good enough. But they just don't have enough weapons right now. I think they're kind of rebuilding. I don't know if Jalen Hyatt is living up to the hype that he had after getting drafted last season. So give him a couple more years. We'll see if Daniel Jones will still be around to be the guy to maybe benefit from that. But my gosh, Malik Neighbors is fun to watch.
Oh, goodness. Evan Ingram is officially out for Sunday's game against Houston. For all of those who are searching everywhere for a tight end, it's been a rather bleak year for tight ends if you're playing fantasy football. So getting bleaker. Evan Ingram is out officially for them. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is our text line in our inbox. Hey, guys, if the Elks lose tonight, do they start forward the rest of the way? Or do you stick with Bethel Thompson? Allen. But send me your answer before I answer. It's pretty. My viewpoint on Trey Ford. I'd have been starting him tonight. And like I said, they could win the game tonight with Bethel Thompson. Wouldn't shock me. But if they don't make the playoffs, then starting him and continuing to start him, I don't see how it benefits your long-term vision as an organization at all. I don't get it whatsoever. Hey guys, the Giants had creativity until they got to the red zone. Holy smokes, like punch one in and they probably win that game. Well, the red zone play wasn't great. I give Dallas's defense a little credit too. But you're right. You get to the red zone and the playbook shrinks because, you can't stretch the field. There are fewer things to do. And they just, I don't know, maybe they ground and pound it more. I'm not sure. But I will give the Cowboys credit there. You're right. What, the 5 field goals in that game for the Giants? 20-5. What a very odd, 20-15. What a very odd score. Hey, boys, when do you think the Oilers are going to make the majority of their cuts? Well, if you look at, they got about 38 players, give or take, in camp right now. And I'm talking healthy. I'm not including Evander Kane. I'm talking about healthy bodies. So Darnell Nurse is yet to play. He will play next week. I think they're hoping to get him in the final 2 preseason games. If you go off of what everything Knobloch said, and he's repeated it many times, so I see no reason not to believe him, that he wants guys to play 4 games. Well, McDavid's line, Draisaitl's line, they've only played 1 game each. So that means they're playing 3 out of 4. Now, would they play them Monday, Wednesday, Friday? They could. My gut is they play them on Saturday, rest them on Monday, and then play them Wednesday, Friday in Seattle and Vancouver. That would be my best guess for that. So, and do you want to go to the game on Saturday? Well, don't do it yet, but we'll just look. I think we had some people suggest. I think we might have some tickets, so we'll update you on that. So keep it tuned in here to Sports 1440. Hey, Gregor, Bethel Thompson throws for 300 plus yards and 3 TDs. Will he grow your hair out again? Steele. Well, why would I do that, Steele? What benefit do I have of doing that? What do I get if he doesn't do it? I learned, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. That'd be on, well, actually, no, fool me twice would be again on me. So now it's not a bet when there's nothing for me to gain. Nothing. And even if he throws for 303 touchdowns, which I think would be very, very, very low chance of happening, but it's possible. I just look at where they're going. I understand their focus right now, I've been told from the owner, is he wants to hire a president. That's kind of this first pecking order decision. You get the president at the top. Now, I don't know. Are they going to go like Hamilton? Hamilton has 2 presidents. One who's the president of basically the business, and then another who's the president of football operations. And because at times in the past, having one who doesn't have any football knowledge has not worked. So if they're going to get a president, he's got to have some understanding of the football side. Otherwise, I'm not sure it really helps in your GM search, etc. Right? Maybe you're just going to hire G. Roy Simon potentially. We'll see. But what did the Elks lose tonight? And your GM and coach were the ones who decided to go with Bethel Thompson over Young Ford. Then what? Right? I think it's an ongoing evaluation there. Ongoing. 2:18, quick break. When we return, Damon Allen will get his thoughts on the quarterback position on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
In 100 meters, turn right. Actually, no. Turn left. There's some awesome new breakfast wraps at McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. There's the sausage, bacon, and egg, a crispy seasoned chicken one. A spicy and egg. Worth the detour.
They sound amazing.
Bet they taste amazing, too. Wish I had a mouth. Take your morning into a delicious new direction with McDonald's new breakfast wraps. Add a small premium roast coffee for $1 plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ain't it beautiful? The inventory is unprecedented. Volvo Cars Edmonton is proud to boast an amazing selection of in-stock Volvo XC40s, 60s, and 90s. Visit Volvo Cars Edmonton today and experience the exemplary service you've come to expect and the affordable luxury only found with Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
At Fountain Tire, we love jingles. Get up to 25% off select tires.
Until October 19.
Plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Restrictions apply.
Book online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the word.
Oodle Noodle time.
Oodle noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best oodle noodle dance. Your best time of day is oodle noodle time.
Rule number 116. In Waterton, walk with a lean. The wind will always prop you up. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instants, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
It's a September to remember, as in remember new schedules, remember where you left your jacket, remember wearing jackets, and remember to get yourself a new Sherwood Honda. You must remember that Sherwood Honda has your best deal, and finding the right vehicle now at Sherwood Honda sure would make memories for years to come. This little tune should help you remember.
As a farmer, you can't afford to take any more risks than you already do. That's why you choose Invigor Hybrid Canola from BASF. It's not just the patented pod shatter reduction and clubroot resistant hybrids. It's the performance you trust to deliver year after year. This season, we're adding 3 new early maturing hybrids that are designed for your fields. So get ready to test the limits of your bins. See your retailer today and find out why Invigor has the top 3 hybrids in Alberta.
Sipping gin and juice, just trying to stay cool. And I'm sweating buckets bigger than a swimming pool. Cruise to Heritage Mall to enjoy some AC. Then my shorty hears the homies from Legacy. I say, listen, yo, where we gonna get the dough to pay Legacy from the radio? He says Legacy Heating's got a deal that's the bomb with no interest or payments flipping all year long. No money, no problems. That's the life that I choose. Chillaxing with thousands of BTU. Doing whatever the heck that was. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Edmonton Expo Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Get valuable advice at free seminars and learn how you can open a successful business. This is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at Edmonton's only franchise show this weekend at the Edmonton Expo Center. Get tickets at edmontonfranchiseshow.com.
No matter where your potential customers live, no matter what they watch, read, or listen to, you need a marketing plan that connects with them. Let the marketing experts at Stingray Media Solutions create a turnkey advertising strategy for your business, including radio and TV and out-of-home advertising, social and search ads, plus the creative and production. Find out the most cost-effective ways to reach your target audience and grow your business. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
Positive Friday continues on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. Hope you're having a lovely Friday. Little Friday night football for you as the Elks are in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. And McLeod Bethel Thompson, MBT, as they say, is getting the start. We'll see how that game goes. It's a big matchup for the Elks, no question about it. And they to keep their playoff hopes alive, they need to win. Now Saskatchewan is hosting Ottawa on Saturday. So, of course, if Edmonton wins and Saskatchewan loses, then the Elks are within one. And then guess what? Who do the Elks play next weekend? None other than the Saskatchewan Roughriders next Saturday, the 5th of October at 5 o'clock. So could be a huge game, but there's a lot of ifs between now and next Saturday. The Elks just got to try to take care of business and get a win if they can. So there you go. We're waiting on, we're hoping to have Damon Allen. Having some difficulties connecting with him because he's elusive off the field as he was on the field. We'll see. But in the meantime, we got lots more texts coming in. Hey, guys, it's unreal that you're getting the young Edmontonian on. I'm curious your thoughts on how many position players have ever played in MLB from the Edmonton area. I'm pretty sure it's only one. Eric Zambrowski is he's the fourth pitcher from the Edmonton area, but I think there's only one that I could find who is a position player, and you got to go back like almost 100 years since he almost 100 years since he played. So, and that was Vince Barton, who played for the Chicago Cubs in 1931 and 1932. He had 16 RBIs, 16 home runs, 65 RBIs, 372 at bats. Played 102 games for the Cubbies, almost a century ago. And he's the only position player from the Edmonton area to ever play in the major leagues of baseball. Dave Shapanoff played 26 games for the Phillies in 1985, had 26 Ks in 36 innings. Mike Johnson had the longest career thus far. Of course, from 1997, played 5 years with Baltimore and, of course, with the Montreal Canadiens. Pitched 218 innings, 81 games, 147 strikeouts coming out of the bullpen. Rob Zastanese, who's currently, did you know this one? Currently a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, he's had quite the career because he was in the majors from 2016 to 18. Then had an injury, then COVID hit, all that stuff. He didn't play in the majors again until 2022 and is now currently with Milwaukee. He's a relief guy, but he's 4-0. He's never lost a game in the majors. 4-0. He's averaging one strikeout per game so far in his career. He's pitched 67 innings. So he's been up or down from AAA to the major leagues of baseball. And now, of course, the fifth player, fourth pitcher from the Edmonton area to make it to the big leagues is Eric Zabrowski. And he will join us coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. So should be pretty fun. Looked up some stats on it. All I know is what a start, man. He pitched against Shohei this year. Got him out. We'll talk about that. That was in his second game, his second appearance in the majors, and he's going up against Shohei. Are you kidding me? Hey, come on. I know it's going to be different for sure. Like the way that guy's playing, everything as a pitcher, like I know you don't want to go on the mound and look at him and think, hey, it's Shohei Ohtani. Because now you might be, beaten before you even get to throw your first pitch. And you block it out, and obviously it worked. But afterwards, there must have been one of those. I just pitched to Shohei Ohtani, and I got him out. Right? Oh, how awesome would that be? I have to think it's quite the thrill. So we'll talk to Eric about that. Tight end fans, Sam Laporta has returned to practice for the Detroit Lions. So there is a chance. There is a chance. Also, now we had her on the show, Cons, and I'd like to say it was a little bit of foreshadowing from yours truly when we mentioned to Christine Sinclair that the retirement is coming. Well, officially today, she announces that she's going to finish this year's campaign with Portland, and their final game is November 1st, and then she will be officially retiring. She, of course, retired from Team Canada, wanted to play a final season without all of the stress and the travel of playing for your country. She loved it, by the way, but now she's there. So if you have a chance to watch the greatest woman Canadian soccer player Canada's ever had, and one of the greatest women soccer players of all time, she's the all-time leading scorer, international goals for women. Pretty damn impressive. So November 1st. Something tells me there'll be a pretty significant Canadian contingent heading down for that game. That's pretty big news. What an amazing career she has had. Hey, Greg, I'm curious. I saw you write an article earlier this week that the Oilers are going to miss Kane, and then someone else wrote that they aren't going to miss Kane because of his goals for against. What do you make of that? Hey, you know what? There's always two sides of it, but I'll say this. Here's the numbers on Evander Kane. If we're going to talk about Evander Kane being because I do see that and people are, Evander Kane, his analytics are terrible. Well, are they? So last season, Evander Kane had was what? Played, how many games he played? 77? So he played 77 games. Now, I know Sunil, when he wrote his article, he talked about, you know what? Yeah, you don't want to get outscored. And it's totally true. You don't want to get outscored. But Evander Kane was -1 5-on-5. He got outscored 45-44. He actually outshot opposition when he was on the ice. And he had an expected goal for of 52%. So was it really that bad? And here's the fun part. Kane was -6 in the first 6 games of the season. Sorry, 7. So in his last 70 games, he's +5. He outscored the opposition 42-37. So is it really that bad? I have a hard time seeing that. Right now, if you look at the year before in Edmonton, he was -6, 5-on-5. Got outscored. I think you can't, to me, you can't look at it without suggesting that, Kane, if you look at his on-ice numbers, yes, he got outscored. But the year before, when he came in, he outscored him by 17. So in his career, 3 years in Edmonton, he's still a plus player, 5-on-5 goals for. He's a plus player in outshooting the opposition. And he has his expected goals at 52%. And then even go back to the previous 4 years in San Jose. He outscored opponents, outshot opponents, actually by over 100. So, yeah, I disagree with it. And then there's the other element of physicality and intimidation that you simply cannot overlook. It's impossible. You can't do it. I don't think it's a fair analysis. So if you want to bring up his goals for and against, and then bring up his points, I'm all for it. So let's do it. But -1 5-on-5, outshooting the opposition and having an expected goals of 52%. Please tell me how it's so bad. I don't get it. That's what I don't understand. You have to dig deep into the numbers. Hey, well, he's a minus player by 1 goal. And over the last 70 games, he was +5. The Oilers' start sucked for a lot of guys. I'm not saying that Evander Kane is suddenly going to be up for the Selke. Let's not confuse the conversation here. But to suggest the Oilers won't miss him because he was -1 5-on-5, outshot the opposition and had a 52% expected goals. I don't understand the rationale in that. I'm sorry. I can't do it. When you consider that Evander Kane himself had more hits than the Oilers' current top 9 wingers, Brown, Janmark, Skinner, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and Arvidsson. They combined for 224 hits last year. 5-on-5. Kane had 230 by himself. Of course they're going to miss him. Physical play is still part of the game, even in the regular season. I understand that Kane was a shadow of himself in the playoffs. I get it. But in the regular season, he was not a drag on him. Right? And you can't, I think you have to at least accept that he played banged up. Now, I think it's fair to question the fact that he played hurt. Right? I think that's valid. Why did he play that hurt? Because if you're that banged up, maybe take a week or 2 off. I think that's fair. So, hey guys, you see the Oilers waiving Brown and in turn picking up someone on waivers? Sam from Vancouver? Nah, I'd be surprised. Right? I'm not. the Edmonton Oilers aren't going to change their opinion on a player. They signed for 3 years due to 2 preseason games that weren't a close representation of NHL hockey at all. There's no chance they're going to do that. Let's get to our big guest of the day now, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. BCHL hockey action down at the Grant Fuhr Arena this weekend. Get your tickets. Go to sgsaints.ca. And we are joined by CFL Hall of Famer, multiple-time Grey Cup champion, MVP, Damon Allen joins us. Damon, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Hey, I'm excellent, Damon. Obviously you had an unbelievable arm as a quarterback, but you had the ability to scramble as well. And in the CFL, having both is an asset, no question. I had Warren Moon on, and he said when he came into the league, he was lucky because his best asset was throwing on the run. He wasn't a great pocket passer, his words, not mine, to start. He became a better pocket quarterback over the few years, but they had plays that allowed him to go to his strength. When you came in, was it similar to you? Did you feel you were good in the pocket right away? How was your evolution in the CFL to start?
I think the evolution was very similar to Warren Moon because I was somewhat of a late bloomer at Cal State Fullerton, and even though the PCAA at that time was probably the number one passing conference in the nation, but still, when I became a professional, I was still known for, I guess, a combination of a runner and a thrower, and can throw on the run and all these different things. And so I think it really came down to when I came to the CFL, my first 10 years, obviously most teams were concerned with me running with the football, and I probably ran more or gained more yards in my first 10 years in the league than it did my second. And so over time, you do learn and you become a better pocket passer and a variety of different things as you go through the years, and you become more and more like a veteran quarterback. There's a lot of lessons that you learn during that time. So, but I very similar to Warren Moon, I can say.
Yeah. And I ask you that question because when I look at Trey Ford, and that guy can run, he is super fast. And he doesn't run a ton, but, he has the ability to scramble. And there's all people, he's not poised in the pocket. It's hard to be poised in the pocket, Damon, when you haven't even played 18 games.
No question. You have to look at his youth. This is only really his second year in the league, I believe. And I think what Edmonton needs to do and understand what they need to do is the fact they have a really good quarterback that can throw in the pocket. And then I believe they have to play Trey every game.
Yes.
It's not a game that he didn't play in. And I think it was very similar to when I came in the league in '85 and you had Matt Dunnigan and myself. And I think what made us a really good football team is the fact that teams had to prepare for both of us. And I probably ran a little bit more than Matt did, but you had to prepare for both of us. And I think that's the uniqueness that not Edmonton has, but the Elks have, because I'm an Eskimo.
Yeah.
What the Elks have with Bethel and Trey. If you go into each game that they're going to be used, then I think defensively teams have to prepare for both of them, not just one. And so that takes a little bit more time and preparation and preparing for the Elks than the other way around when you just have to prepare for Bethel.
Yeah. And, you mentioned you got to get reps to play. Because you can practice a lot, Damon, but can you explain to us, because the most of us never played quarterback, just the difference of in-game reps for a QB compared to practice reps?
No, it's really, because I said I started off as a backup to Matt Dunnigan. And the one thing about, and I was with Jackie Parker at the time, was my coach. And they told me that I was going to play every game. And so he was always in the mindset of Damon has to play, whether it's a couple of series or a few series, he's going to play every game. But what ultimately that happened, what it did was when Matt got hurt, they were already comfortable, and the team was comfortable with me playing every single game. And so the transition to me coming in, you didn't lose a beat because I was playing every game. And I think this day and age it's very difficult for one quarterback to make it through the whole season and make it to the Grey Cup. And so Edmonton was ahead of their time in how they use their quarterbacks. But then at the same time, you have to believe that you have two quality starting quarterbacks on each team. Those days are gone. And now you barely have a starter that can last the whole year. And so when you look at a quarterback-driven league and you don't, take the importance of having two good quarterbacks, then you can have an up and down season at times due to the fact that if you lose your starter, then you don't have no confidence in your backup. And so even the refs have to match that.
Damon Allen joins us. Damon, when you're as athletic as you were and as Trey Ford is now, you're in the pocket, maybe you look at your first option, it's not there. And there's that instant, okay, I want to run now. I want to get to some open space. What takes you getting comfortable to not go to that? Like, is it just more reps? Is it seeing it in play? What is it that allows you to say, you know what? Okay, I can stay in here, 1 steamboat, 3 steamboat, whatever the number is. You still ran when needed, but you were more comfortable. How do you get to that point as a quarterback?
How do you get to that point is reps, game experience. And I'm pretty sure if you look over the years, you got to, what year is this for Trey? I mean, to be exact.
Technically it's 3, but it's, the first year he didn't, I think he played in like 1 game. So last year he started the last 10 games of the season, and this year he started 3.
Yeah. So it takes, I think a lot as well is, if you look at Trey's background coming from Canadian college and those experience, I think when you come in the Canadian Football League and where, for a quarterback to be really poised and what he has to have a great understanding of defense, and not only plays, but at the same time, hey, what is my main read? What's my second target? What's my third? And so there's a progression when the first guy's not open to what's your number 2 and what's your number 3. And then you would move. Nowadays he may not have the time to get to his progressions. Then he looks to run because he has a lot of confidence in his ability to make plays and do things outside of the pocket and not necessarily in the pocket. But over time it will grow. And then, once he becomes more comfortable in the pocket, then that's when the magic, true magic, starts to see in his ability to dominate games.
What about play calling, Damon? How much did play calling play into your success? And is there better ways to call a game for a young quarterback?
I think in this day and age, most of the offensive coordinators are calling the plays. When I was playing, the quarterbacks were calling the plays. And so you have a better feel for the plays that you're going to run. And I'm not saying you calling your own plays that you're outside of the game plan. We may have a 1st and 10, a 2nd and 4 to 6, and a 2nd and long package. Each quarterback would call plays within that whole game plan of what we want to do. Matt may call 5 plays that I wouldn't call, and he wouldn't probably call 5 plays that I would choose. And it's the same with Tracy Ham. But what it taught us how to manage the game and think the game and all those different things that will make you more comfortable playing, right? And so what a lot of people don't know, the 4 Grey Cups that I played in, I called 3 of those games.
Ooh. Did you like calling your plays more than having someone call them for you?
Absolutely, because the whole time I'm making adjustments. I'm remembering plays that I call and how they played them, and which causes me to make adjustments much quicker than what we would have an offensive coordinator call. But like I said, a lot of people don't want that kind of responsibility to call the whole game, and that's not easy to do. And you have to be really in tune, well-versed, spend a lot of time preparing to play 4 quarters and make adjustments a lot quicker. So there's advantages and disadvantages. And so I believe during Ricky Ray's time, he didn't want to call plays. Ricky just called what was called, and he made it work. Matt Dunnigan during his time, he enjoyed calling plays because it gave you a different preparation and how you prepare. Because when you're calling the game, you're going to put more work into it.
It's funny. So the quarterback position now, and lots of the plays are called. Now, I do know that some veteran quarterbacks still have the opportunity to audible out, and they call their own plays. I know Mike Riley did that in 2015 quite often for the green and gold. But if you look at the evolution of the position now, Damon, why do you think there's such a little willingness to want quarterbacks to call their own plays?
Well, I think sometimes the quarterbacks nowadays don't want the responsibility. Is probably one thing. Second is their experience. I mean, if you look around the quarterbacks across the league, I mean, majority of them don't have the experience to be able to take on that responsibility. And there's a few that have been in the game a few years, and either they're prepared to when they go no huddle. So I think there's a lot of different things. And then you have to understand, too, these coordinators nowadays, they want to call the plays, and sometimes they're slow in making adjustments. And then just because you can design a play doesn't mean you can call a game, too. So You have to be as well gifted in calling the game, seeing the game from the sidelines and going to the right play at the right time, let alone having a quarterback that understands coverage and what's going on. It makes it a lot easier. And so there's a lot of variables that you have to look at compared to, during the time that I played.
Damon, great stuff, man.
20-second clock is very difficult to, sometimes, getting in and out of the huddle with all the variety of different motions and stuff like that and the different packages. So I think coordinators probably a little bit better and prepared to call games than the quarterbacks nowadays.
Sorry about that, but Damon, I really appreciate that's great insight, man. We'll have to get you back on again, and we'll see if the green and gold can. They need a win tonight if they want to make the playoffs. No doubt about it. And
who are they playing tonight?
Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they've elected to start Bethel Thompson, not Trey Ford. So we'll see what happens.
Well, as long as they play both of them, they'll be all right.
Okay, well there you go, Damon Allen, Hall of Famer. You think, you got to play Trey Ford. Now, you might not have to play him every snap, but you got to play him every game. Makes 100% sense. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. Anyone suggesting that Bethel Thompson's the right answer full-time for the Elks makes no sense. When we come back, we'll go in the community, and Mike Stelter will join us in studio talking about a new tournament in honor of his son, Ben. Coming up next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
When it comes to your health, trust Dr. Bryce Henderson for expert care in hip and knee replacements. With years of experience and advanced techniques, Dr. Henderson helps you regain your mobility and quality of life.
Your health is my priority. Let's get you back to doing what you love.
Put your health in the hands of a trusted expert. Book your consultation with Dr. Henderson today. Visit vitalsurgicalspecialist.ca or call 587-391-7864.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients. Better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. That's Sports 20.
Gateway Toyota treats us like we're precious gems.
Because that's what we are.
Every vehicle purchased from Gateway Toyota includes enrollment into their GEM program.
It stands for Gateway Exclusive Membership.
And it gives you 5-year access to over $2,500 in benefits.
Free oil changes.
Free tire and windshield repair.
Free car washes.
Even an annual detailing.
You'll also get special discounts, trade-in bonuses, and referral rewards.
I feel like a gem.
At Gateway Toyota, just off Calgary Trail at Ellerslie Road.
New season, new start, new beginnings. Hockey is back at Rogers Place with the Edmonton Oil Kings home opener. Tomorrow, be at the Edmonton Oil Kings home opener against arch rivals, the Calgary Hitmen. It's family fun that's second to none, with thundersticks for every fan to make some noise. Plus, score kids food combos for $10 or less. And it's a special 2 p.m. puck drop. Oil Kings home opener tomorrow afternoon. Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
.252, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook, also sports1440.ca. Thanks as always for joining us. We really appreciate it. And very special guest joining us in studio now, of course, Ben's dad, Mike Stelter. Ben's Cup, a new tournament that is coming out for U13 and U11 teams. And we'll get Mike in to kind of tell us some details. They're going to raise a lot of money. Mike, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me on.
So now you just add to the repertoire, tournament director. How's that going?
It's going good. And it's out of my skill set a little bit, but we have an incredible team working together to put this on.
So kind of, I guess, take us through, the brainchild of this, what it came about and the plan to raise more money.
Yeah, the group that we have organizing this event came together saying we want to do something big for Ben, a hockey tournament to raise a lot of money. So we started planning a little bit for different ways we could do it, and we landed on Ben's Cup, which is a U11, U13 tournament, like you mentioned. We have AA, Tier 1, and Tier 2.
Okay.
It's going to be, we're trying to set the benchmark for tournaments, just to make it awesome, do some things that the kids haven't done before, and we have a fundraising aspect involved with it as well. So each kid involved has a $500 fundraising requirement to raise money. And then we have some different prizes to go along with the kids as they go. For the top 5 fundraisers, we have different signed Oilers jerseys. We have McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, those guys.
Yeah.
Of course. And then for the top 40 fundraisers, we have something a little bit different. It's an all-star game. So the top 40 are going to go in together. We're going to have a mix of U13, U11, and we're just going to go all out for them. We have some really cool stuff lined up. They'll have special jerseys. We'll do the whole smoke show, everything. They'll be treated like VIP, which is going to be really fun.
And when is the tournament?
The tournament's December 27th, 28th, and 29th.
And where's it at?
It's at our Dawson Rec Complex.
Okay. And so I was talking to you during the break. You're about halfway there. You're looking at 32 teams, 16 in each age group.
Yeah, that's right. So we're about halfway there. It's starting to fill up. We're just waiting on some teams to get finalized, and more registration should be flying in.
If people are, because we already got a text coming in, how can they get their team in? Where do they go?
benscup.com.
So super simple. benscup.com. If you want to get your U13 or your U11 team, Tier 1, Tier 2, and AA teams are welcome to join. I would suspect you probably want to get in, as I know our manager's been looking for tournaments. There's not a lot of tournaments around this year. I know there's just a little bit of shortage of ice, and lots of local communities aren't able to really give up weekends anymore for a team to have tournaments. So at least in the Edmonton area and close by, it's rather difficult. So you got it out in our Dawson, which is great. Sean Brown runs things out there. Maybe you get Brown to drop a ceremonial puck for you or not.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So, but make sure you get some skate. Make sure he takes his skate cards off, because sometimes he forgets to do that. So, tell us now. I know you did the world's longest game, and Mike, there was your family, everybody saw it, and I'm sure it was very difficult because you kind of go through losing a child in a very public way. Can be good or bad, but it's something that you've continued on. What's the motivation to continue on?
Ben, and to help kids like Ben. That's the big thing. Just seeing all the gaps in the area for where it could have improved for Ben and been better for Ben. And then to hear some of the stories and hear from some of the families what we've done and how it's helped them so much, it means everything just to keep going.
What have you done specifically since you started the Ben Stelter Foundation?
We started some magical experiences and done some pretty cool things for kids.
Okay.
Whether it's a trip to Disneyland, we've done Disney World.
Oh, nice.
We've done some really cool experiences here at the mall, actually, where they stay in a theme room, do the shopping spree, do all the cool stuff at the mall. They absolutely love it. So those have gone well. We're still accepting tons of applications for those. We set up a medical equipment program at the Stollery to buy medical equipment for kids, such as walkers, wheelchairs. Some kids require things like hospital beds at home, where none of that is covered. We've set up this program. It's super easy for the families, easy for the Stollery, just to streamline everything to make sure we can get the equipment in their hands as easy as possible. And we've expanded that out to BC Children's Hospital, and we're just about finalizing it with Alberta Children's Hospital in Calgary as well.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. It is something that I know every parent, it's the worst nightmare when you're a parent, you feel it's your job. You want to protect your kids. It's obviously something that you can't see coming. So it's virtually impossible to protect them from it, but you want to try to make it as comfortable as possible. And I have to think that, hearing from these families and that what you're doing is making a significant difference. Like, you get to actually see it. You probably meet some of these families, you meet the kids, and you actually get to see that the money you're raising, where it's going, and the difference it's making. Like, that, is it somewhat therapeutic in a way?
Absolutely. It's hard to say we're fortunate or lucky, but we really are, compared to a lot of friends and families that we've met that have lost a child as well. We don't take it for granted that we're fortunate to have this platform and able to help out other kids. And like you said, with the money, we feel held accountable to Ben, where last year our expense ratio was at 96%, meaning that 96% of the money that we raised went right to the cause with our expenses so low.
Yeah, I'm big on you want to keep your admin fees down as low as you can. 96 is unreal for you guys. Mike Stelter joins us. Ben's Cup is where you can register if you want to get your U11 or U13 hockey teams. The tournament's going just after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, out in Ardrossan. Tier 1, Tier 2, and AA teams are welcome. And that for families out there who right now have a son or daughter or a young child who is battling cancer, where can they go? How do they get registered to get the help that you talked about? Maybe a special bed for their home, just so they can live comfortably. Where do they go to get that?
Right, they could always reach out to us, but everything's set up right through the Stollery. All the nurses, doctors there know about it and can take care of everything. But they can reach out to us. All of our contact is on benstelterfoundation.com. And our 4 pillars are on there as well to say what we do.
So do people have to apply for that, Mike, or is it kind of automatic? Like, I'm assuming, hey, our son or daughter has cancer. That's pretty much what the application form is.
There's no application form. We wanted to streamline it, make it as easy as possible. The hospital just takes care of it, goes out and buys it for them.
Now, I know, you and I have talked many years, and I always appreciate your candor. How are you doing as a dad?
I'm doing all right. It's tough. Ben was my best friend in the world, and to lose him was the hardest thing ever. But the girls are a lot of energy. They keep us going as well. So if we didn't have the girls, I don't know what we'd do. They mean everything to us right now.
And your daughters, of course, it's devastating for a parent. There's no question about it. And you mentioned, but you're still parents, and but they lost their brother. And how kids are pretty resilient. There's no question about it. But there are also at times where there's lots of emotions of confusion and stuff. How is that process? Like, I'm assuming it's always evolving and growing. But you have any advice for other families who have lost a child and kind of how to, because the process, like, the grieving never stops.
No.
Right? It just kind of changes.
Yeah. Advice, things that help us, talking about Ben. Some people are scared to bring Ben up to us, or maybe think that we forgot we lost our son. We didn't. So my advice to other people, especially if you're dealing with other families, talk about their children.
Right.
It's not going to remind them they died. It's going to help them. It's going to mean a lot to them.
That's great advice. Honestly, it's very simple, but because you see that in a lot of situations. People, they go to a funeral, they don't know what to say to somebody because, just show you care. And you know what? Hey, they were a great person. This is a memory I have of them. Most people just want to know, if they think of an impact they made somehow. I remember this about him because I know Oilers fans, like, what was unique about Ben, and I still remember the very first time when he showed up as the Scotiabank skater. And we had some, it was one of your friends who had actually sent us a note on the show saying Ben was going to come out on the ice that night. And so we should give him a round of applause. And the crowd, it was like an instant connection with Edmonton fans, right? Like, it was, weird's the wrong word, but it was like instantaneous where they were just like, you know what? He's one of us and we're really going to stand behind him. And you must have sensed that as a dad. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about how so many people were like instant supporters of Ben Stelter and his family.
We couldn't believe it. We still watch the video from Ben's GoPro, or I think I had my cell phone by the glass watching Ben skate out, and just how loud it was blew us away. It was incredible. Edmonton is a special city and a special community, and they mean so much to us.
So what's your participation? Are you reffing in the tournament? Are you dropping the puck? What's going on? What are the Stelters doing for Ben's Cup when it gets going on the 27th?
We'll be out there all weekend long helping out with stuff, whether we're at the raffle table, silent auction, stuff like that. We have something for parents as well. So we have a curling bonspiel going on. We have the curling as well. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So all that info is on.
Now, do you and Leah curl?
No, we don't. We've signed up. It's going to be the first time ever. So if you want at least one win, you can sign up and you'll be able to play against us.
Well, that's a fantastic idea, actually. So you can, because in between games, you can, hey, kids, we sit here and watch all of your games. Now it's your turn to watch mom and dad play in the curling bonspiel. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Well, that'll be loads of fun. So once again, for all the teams out there, if you're interested in U13, U11, benscup.com, very simple. You can register, but I would recommend getting there quickly. The tournament's on December 27th. It's already halfway sold out. There's 16 teams in U13, 16 teams in U11. As Mike had mentioned to us, the top 5 fundraisers are going to get some real special prizes. The top 40 fundraisers are going to play in an all-star game. And as you mentioned, the smoke show and make it like a real all-star game, make them feel fairly important, which is great. It's a fun thing. So does each team and each individual player, when they register, they just get a page signed up for them and then people can just donate to their page? How does it work?
Exactly. So we'll be setting up the pages for all the kids to go. They'll have their own unique page, their own QR code where they can go out and do the fundraising. There's tax receipts for everything. And the cool thing, all the money from this is going towards a proton therapy.
Okay.
Which is the advanced cancer treatment. Canada is the only major country that doesn't have it, and we're bringing it here. So it's going to be called the Ben Stelter Center for Proton Therapy and Neurosciences. We're hoping to break ground early next year.
Really?
But it's going to kick off. So that's where the money's going. It's an awesome cause. We're pretty pumped for it.
Well, can you explain, what is proton therapy? What exactly is that?
Proton therapy is like photon radiation treatment that we have here, but it's a little bit different. It's a lot better for certain types of cancers and tumors, and brain tumors in particular. Funny enough, it's the treatment that was recommended for me that I had to go to Philadelphia for last year. They can get it a lot more dialed in and accurate where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
So for example, with me, the tumor's right on my spine, pushing against the nerve on my leg. For radiation here, they said there's a chance that you might not be able to walk again because the radiation is going to damage that nerve. Where I could go for proton therapy, they're able to get it pinpointed right up against it, basically. And I'm doing great now. And just the amount of families that we've met that have to travel to Florida or different states for proton therapy is crazy. And there's so many financial barriers involved that some families can't go.
So you're breaking ground on the building.
Yeah.
So what, like 2020, I have no idea how long, like 2027? Is that
a couple of years, maybe end of 2027, likely the start of 2028.
Oh, man.
That'll be accepting patients.
Oh, that's going to be phenomenal. Wow. What a legacy that you built. Your son would be ultra proud. I'm sure all your family and friends and people in Edmonton are so thankful that, as you mentioned, definitely it hasn't been lucky that what happened to your family and Ben, of course, but Edmontonians are very lucky that it happened to you because of what you've done since. So kudos to you, Mike. And and Leah and your entire family and everybody that works with you. It's fantastic. The Ben's Cup. It's a great way to teach young kids to raise the money themselves. I hope their parents just don't put in the $500. I hope some of the kids go out there, knock on some doors, say what it's for. The best thing is a lot of people know who Ben Stelter was. And it's something that most people, I'll give you $5, $10 and it all adds up quickly, right? $5 and $10 can go a long ways. You walk around the neighborhood and all of a sudden you got, $100 from 20 people. It's not that hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Mike's always good to see you, my man. And we'll see you out there. Good luck if Brownie comes out. So you could probably school him in curling, though, for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. That's Mike Stelter. Once again, check it out, the Ben Stelter Foundation. If your son or daughter is in need and is battling cancer, and they can help you out there. And, of course, if you want your teams to play in Ben's Cup, go to benscup.com. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or furnace unit, or you can combine them. Save even more. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Elks in Winnipeg to take on the Bombers. Kickoff just after 6 o'clock in that one from the NHL. Kings defenseman Drew Doughty will undergo surgery to repair a fractured ankle. He's considered month to month. The injury was suffered on a Wednesday against the Golden Knights. One of the greatest to ever do it. Christine Sinclair, International Football's all-time record goal scorer, announced today that she is retiring from the sport at the end of the season. The 41-year-old native of Burnaby, BC, is in her 12th season with the Portland Thorns, who wrap up their regular season on November 1st with 5 matches to go. On the ice in the NHL, you got the Red Wings and Blackhawks. Devils take on the Islanders, Stars host the Avs, and the Utah Hockey Club in Vegas. Major League Baseball, the Jays kicking off a weekend series to wrap up the season in Toronto, taking on the Marlins just after 5 o'clock. You also have the Phillies in Washington, Yankees up against the Pirates. Red Sox take on the Rays. Braves host the Orioles in Minnesota. Earlier today, Cubs get past the Reds 1-0. College football tonight. Number 7, Miami hosting Virginia Tech at 5:30. Then at 6 o'clock, Washington heads to Jersey to take on Rutgers locally. The Alberta Golden Bears, they're in Saskatchewan taking on the Huskies. That gets going at 7 o'clock. Golden Bears soccer tomorrow up against Saskatchewan, and then Regina on Sunday. Both those games noon at Footfield. At 2:15 at Footfield, the Panthers will play Lethbridge tomorrow and Saskatchewan on Sunday. And tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, you've got the Huskies hosting the Wildcats at Jasper Place Bowl. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Wanye Gratz, Guardians pitcher Eric Sosi, and Winnipeg Blue Bombers analyst Doug Brown. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go. In 100 meters, turn right. Actually, no. Turn left. There's some awesome new breakfast wraps at McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. There's the sausage, bacon, and egg, a crispy seasoned chicken one. A spicy and egg, worth the detour.
They sound amazing.
Bet they taste amazing, too. Wish I had a mouth. Take your morning into a delicious new direction with McDonald's new breakfast wraps. Add a small premium roast coffee for $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's restaurants. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Other heroes hiding in plain sight. GS Construction. But who are these supermen and women in hard hats? Why? They're the ones with the power to offer services such as infrastructure rehabilitation, water and drainage solutions, land development, general contracting, and more. And when they're finished doing what they do best, everything is covered and invisible to everyone's eye. So don't look for them in the sky. They're out on the roads and in your neighborhoods. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Ain't it beautiful?
There's electricity in the air. Carrie Dahl here for Volvo of Edmonton, where the Volvo XC40 and C40 fully electric vehicle is now in stock, along with a great selection of Volvo T8 hybrid models. Experience the trusted Volvo quality and technology to power into tomorrow at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience.
School them in curling, though, for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Edmonton.
So you've decided you want to start hiking. Nobody would say, I'll just wear my kids' flip-flops until I have more experience. The first thing you do is buy the right shoe size and style to fit you. Same with golf. You can't just buy clubs off the rack. They won't be the right size or style for you. Only Fitted Golf works with you to identify your swing style and then matches your clubs exactly to that swing. Check out our Instagram and YouTube channel to see the success others have with clubs fit to their swing. Fitted Golf, where we continue to prove it's your clubs.
Rule number 37. Elk Island mosquitoes don't believe in personal space. Keep bug spray ready at all times. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
I couldn't ignore it. Everyone kept saying,
"You look so tired."
Are you getting enough sleep, dear?
Hon, you look like you need some rest.
but I'm not tired. I guess I just look that way.
But you don't have to. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and I provide skin-refreshing treatments designed to give you a fresh and natural appearance. Don't worry, we won't drastically change how you look, but we will help you look as energetic as you feel. Book your consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. Happy Friday. Running a little bit late. Our apologies, but with Mike wanted to go a little bit longer. Hey, fellas, I didn't have crying in the car on my drive home on my weekend bingo card. Thanks for that. You said it perfectly. Edmonton is very lucky to have the Stelters. Greg's, I'm always in awe of the Stelter family. They are truly an inspiration. Awesome. That one comes in from Cody. Hey, Jason, Mike Gogo, give him some curling pointers. Well, Mike, you get out there and do it. Why not? Hey, everybody can learn. Everybody can learn. It's never too late, right? Just Mike, if he's smart, will be allocating the sweeping skills to someone else. That's what's great. So I love it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The Ben Stelter Center for Proton Therapy. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm in. How do I donate anything to honor that little man's legacy from B? Well, if you just go to Ben Stelter Foundation on online, B, and they have a donation site right there. But isn't that amazing that Canada's the last place, one of the in one of the major countries in the world that doesn't have it, and they're going to have it. And they're leading the charge. It's amazing. As we welcome in Wanye Gretz. Wanye, how you doing, my man?
Good. That was quite a heavy interview. Well, happy.
Yeah, happy.
Ultimately.
Yeah, you know what?
Emotion filled.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's well, your young son is what, 6?
4.
4. Okay. So you just think about for a moment what they went through. And like when I talk to him, like my son is it's like, whew. Every time. I can't imagine it. Now I'm a crier anyway. So but it gets the tear ducts welling up a little bit just because it's every parent's worst nightmare and how the Stelters handle the entire thing and what they're doing now to keep honoring Ben and to help so many other people who just to try to make it a little bit more comfortable, hopefully make it more successful for their children. That is one of the most powerful, unbelievably unselfish legacies you could ever do.
Taking something that terrible happening to your family and trying to use it to help many families going through that is really incredible.
Yeah. Greg's, we're lucky to have the Stelters. We're also lucky to have Sports 1440. Thank you. Stories like that keep connecting our community. That one comes in from JCD. Well, thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. And so, you know what? We've always tried to make it, on my show for many years, the other stations about the community, and I know Carrie's has done a ton, and Cons, and now everybody's jumped on board. They do other things on their own show. It's about charity, and I think it's important. And I think our audience appreciates that. It's we can talk sports, we can yell, and we can argue, we can debate, and we can laugh, which is awesome. But at the end of the day, sports is just fun, and real life always trumps it. And if we're able to help spread words of great initiatives, and kids can play in a hockey tournament, have fun, and raise some money, and the fact that they're getting the Ben Stelter proton going, to me it's amazing. Like that was outstanding. I absolutely love the fact that they're doing that. So the Ben Stelter Center for Proton Therapy. So that's truly remarkable. It's awesome. Hey guys, how concerned are you about the fact that the Oilers are leaking goals all over the place? From Doug. Well, Doug, I'll be bluntly honest. How many games have the Oilers had so far in the preseason where they dressed 3 of their 6 defensemen? The answer is 0. So I'm not concerned. Kulak's played 1 game. Bouchard's played 1 game. Ekholm's played 1 game. Nurse hasn't played a game. I don't really put too much stock in it, to be bluntly honest.
When we went through one of the worst stretches in modern NHL history last season, Gregor, if I'm not mistaken, we found ourselves 31st out of 32 teams. We weren't panicking then. Why would we be panicking in the preseason? We're different up here. Not panicking. I'm not panicking.
It's preseason.
What are you talking about?
Like if the Oilers had scored 18 goals, would I be sitting there and saying, "Oh my God, they're going to run the league out of the rink every night"? No, because it's preseason, and it's not close to a reflection of what an NHL roster is going to look like. Now, if in the next 4 games the Oilers are giving up 5 goals a night, and most of those games they're probably going to have 4 NHL defensemen dressed, some nights probably 6, then I think it's fair to be like, this is not going how they expected. But I wouldn't, until that happens, I would say exhale, serenity now, and you'll be fine.
Remember that 1 year Ty Ratty had all those points, and I got the Ty Ratty Heart Guaranteed trophy tattoo? I regret it. Not fully, but some.
Yeah, well, you should.
It's a mistake.
It was more the color code that you chose. It was very odd. So that's
you can't put the cart in front of the horse, gang. It's just preseason.
No, it's exactly. It's just like I can tell you unequivocally that the players, like talking to Zach Hyman, I'm not even sure someone asked him, and I'll be honest, I was kind of like, why? He's like, well, are you concerned how many goals you gave up? And Hyman's like, no. Like he was almost like insulted that they got asked that question. It was the first game we played in 3 months. I didn't worry about it at all. Like the Oilers had 50 shots. They didn't score, but it's a preseason game with, what do they have that night? 2 of their NHL defensemen dressed.
They asked the same of Berube. He just laughed at the reporter too.
Yeah.
It's preseason.
Yeah, you can't. There's no point to, I know some people are on edge at all times, and I get it, but I don't, I wouldn't work too much. Hey guys, I was doing good until the point you asked Mike how he was doing as a dad. The hesitation, the crack in his voice brought me to tears. What an amazing family. I hope we all continue to rally behind Ben and support the foundation. From Tub Guy. Ooh, hey, Tub Guy, not only you, buddy. You kidding me? I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. And I have learned, I know what I can do now. If I just pinch my inner thigh, that it might make me cry, but it's more for pain than, because it's gotten worse. Like my wife, it's become almost a running joke in our family where, and I never was a crier until my dad died and I spoke at his funeral. And I remember it vividly afterwards, like, oh God, that's brutal. Because I never cried in public before. And you're kind of, I'm on the tail end of that generation where you weren't supposed to do it. Now though, it's almost gone too far. So there'll be times I'm like, I'm not even upset. What the hell is going on? So I'm like the opposite of Seinfeld, right? Where he's like, what is this salty discharge? I'm like, get back in. So, but I was able to hold it together. But yeah, any father talk for me, because it's coming up to the anniversary of my dad. Obviously, it's a little bit more of an emotional time, no question about it. But as anybody who listens to the show, and I think most guys, little emotion's never a bad thing, right? People cry when they lose the Stanley Cup. People cry when, you cry about things you're passionate about. Nothing wrong with it.
I cried so much after the Oilers lost the cup in 06 that my girlfriend dumped me at 1 a.m. I'll say it every year until we win the cup, that I'll never speak of it again.
Mm-hmm. That's it's pretty insensitive on her part. I'm assuming it must have been other things, but that is funny.
Well, there's my general personality.
Right. Well, the fact that you had probably cried more than one game.
Nope.
Did you? No, that was the only time.
But I'd had a case of beer every other night for 2.5 months.
Oh yeah, maybe that was it.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, probably not. That might have played a small factor. We're going to take a quick break because when we return, one of only 5 Edmontonians to ever play in the major leagues of baseball. He's doing it right now, and he is absolutely rolling 16 Ks in 11.1 innings as a member of the Cleveland Guardians. They're going to the playoffs. He had Tommy John surgery twice. Somebody thought he'd never get there. Just kept battling, and now he's in the major leagues. We'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Often when I meet people at a party or I'm hanging out at my favorite restaurants, I'll introduce myself and they'll say, "Oh, you're Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physio. What can I do about this sore knee? It's been bugging me for months." First, I was thinking, when I'm out like this, I should just tweet my location so people know where to come for a consultation. But then I thought, I'm spending all this money on advertising Leading Edge. Maybe you could come by one of our clinics. That's where we have the technology and really smart physiotherapists who can give you all the advice and treatment you need. Have your people call my people, leadingedgephysio.com.
At Fountain Tire, we love jingles. Get up to 25% off select tires.
Until October 19th.
Plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150.
Restrictions apply.
Book online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Carve out for a cause at the 6th annual Jason Gregor Pizza Takeout presented by Swift. Thursday, October 24th at the Canadian Ice House. Indulge in unlimited pizza while raising some dough for kids sport. Vote for your favorite slice to crown the People's Choice Awards winners. Don't miss Edmonton's biggest pizza party with Gregor broadcasting live. Tickets are $60 or $200 for a group of 4. Adults only. Buy your tickets today. For more details, see jasongregorpizzapickout.com.
New season, new start, new beginnings. Hockey is back at Rogers Place with the Edmonton Oil Kings home opener. Tomorrow will be at the Edmonton opener against arch rivals, the Calgary Hitmen. It's family fun that's second to none with Thundersticks for every fan to make some noise. Plus, score kids food combos for $10 or less. And it's a special 2 p.m. puck drop. Oil Kings home opener tomorrow afternoon. Great family.
Again, the 0-2. Check swinging a pitch in the dirt. Did he go? He did. They've got to throw down to first to complete the out. Zabrowski fires the 2-2. Next pitch. Oh, boy. Right there for a called third strike. He froze him. Now the 1-2. Strike 3. Called.
October 24th at the Canadian Ice House. Indulge in unlimited pizza while raising some dough for kids' sport. Vote for your favorite slice to crown the People's Choice Awards winners. Don't miss Edmonton's biggest pizza party with Gregor Broadcasting Live. Tickets are $60 or $200 for a group of 4. Adults only. Buy your tickets today. For more details, see jasongregorpizzapickout.com.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Edmonton Expo Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Get valuable advice at free seminars and learn how you can open a successful business. This is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at Edmonton's only franchise show this weekend at the Edmonton Expo Center. Get tickets at edmontonfranchiseshow.com.
Positive Friday. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanya Gretz with you. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook and X. Streaming live at sports1440.ca. Hope you're having an awesome day. Big weekend in sports going on at the President's Cup, although I'm not sure it's going to be much of a competition. You got pretty much a must-win game tonight for the Elks. You have Major League Baseball final weekend. A few teams still trying to clinch their spot into the dance. You got NFL, NHL preseason. Whew, great time. If you are a sports fan, it's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Except they had a 5-point spread last night, so nobody wins in the Dallas game. That's unfortunate. I guess unless you just went straight up, that'd be fine. Now, our next guest is just waiting patiently, I would think, for his next opportunity to pitch in a Major League Baseball game. As we get to our MLB report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or furnace. LegacyHeating.ca. He is the fifth pitcher from Edmonton area, fifth player, fourth pitcher to be in the major leagues. He made his MLB debut on September 4th, and since then, all he's been doing is mowing down batters. Struck out the side the other day. He's got 16 Ks now in 11.1 innings. Eric Zabrowski joins us. Eric, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're really happy to have you. It's been a whirlwind month for you, Eric. It's when I tell people, we've talked about it before, a young guy who went through 2 different Tommy John surgeries, and you just keep battling. Where'd the perseverance come, Eric? Because, a lot of people might have, maybe given up's maybe the wrong word, but might have just felt like, maybe this just isn't the path for me. What kept you on the path to keep going to chase that MLB dream?
Sometimes giving up did seem like the easy option, but fortunately, I have a pretty good support system around me with my family and some trainers and even with Cleveland, and they really all made it worth it.
Now, Eric, growing up, it's not like you were like a phenom pitcher. I've talked to some people that, he was a good player, but you weren't dominant, a little bit of a late bloomer. When did you kind of start to think that baseball was a realistic option professionally for you?
It's professionally, not until college. It's I've kind of just kept, taking steps as I've gone up the levels. At one point it was hoping to get to college. And then when I was in junior college, it was, hoping to maybe go to a 4-year school from that. And it was in my sophomore year at junior college where things really did start taking off.
What took off for you? What was it that it kind of changed? Is it just, were you physically a little bit of a late bloomer? We see in a lot of sports, right? Like lots of sports are still late bloomers. Is that what it was, or was there a technique, a grip? What was it where it started to take off for you?
I had luck, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
My sophomore year, I started throwing a little bit harder, and that's when the strikeouts really started racking up. And it was near the end of the fall where I first heard that some big league scouts were coming out to, see me pitch. And that's when I realized, I might have a chance of doing this, at least, to be in the minor leagues, let alone be where I am now.
Walk us through, Eric. 2 Tommy John surgeries, like one for most athletes is a catastrophe. How did you soldier through 2? And what were you thinking when the second one was required?
Not some great thoughts when I found out the second one was needed, but I guess the main idea that kept me going was I worked so hard to come back from that first one, and I got dealt a bad hand, but so why not try again? And just kind of remembering what my goal was when I got into professional baseball, which is to pitch in the big leagues, and really just reminding myself that if I get through this, I still have a chance, and as long as if you have a chance, you got a shot, right? So.
Were you still in the recovery process from your first Tommy John when you found out you had to have the second one, or did you come back and play some ball? How did the timing work?
I played a little bit of ball, missed out on 2020 because of COVID, but I was, healthy throughout that process. And then it was near the end of 2021 where I, finally found out I needed it again. I'd thrown maybe 30 innings in high A, and that's when it all went wrong again.
Eric Zabrowski joins us, a member of the Cleveland Guardians. They are going to the playoffs. And Eric, you got called up on August 28th. Where were you? And who told you were going called up? And can you kind of take us through the moments when you found out, and then maybe the hour or so afterwards? Because I'm guessing the first call was to mom and dad.
Yeah, me, my fiance Renee, and her dad Mo were playing cards in our hotel room in Atlanta. The AAA team, Columbus, we were playing Gwinnett.
Okay.
And it was just after midnight, and my phone rang, and I noticed it was the manager for Columbus, and that's when I figured what was going on. And he just called me and said, "Hey man, you're going up. Like, congratulations. The car is picking you up at 3:45." So it was a pretty short, 3.5 hours after I got called up. Made a few phone calls. Me and Renee packed up, and before we knew what was going on, it was already 2:33. So there wasn't much sleep that night.
So then you get into Cleveland, and so you're called up. So you were there, I think, for like 4 or 5 days before you got in. Was that better, or was it almost worse waiting? Because you're like, oh, I'm here now, I want to pitch. Kind of take us through the first 4 days of how it was to be a major leaguer for the first time in your career.
It was weird. It felt like a really awesome vacation since I wasn't pitching, like you said. So I was just kind of hanging out, waiting in the wings. I kept having to tell myself to stay ready because eventually the chance was going to come. So just doing my best to mentally and physically stay prepared for whenever that bullpen phone rang.
Relief pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, Eric Zabrowski joins us. And you mentioned, when you're in the bullpen, you don't know when you're going to pitch. Did they give you any insight? Okay, you're going to pitch tonight, or was it literally all of a sudden they're like, Zabrowski, warm up? How does it go in the bullpen?
Zabrowski, warm up. I wish sometimes you wish there was a little more heads up, but it was as simple as that. I had warmed up a few times at home, but the situations changed and I didn't get in the game. But we were in Kansas City and we were down, I think 4 or 5-1. It was the 7th inning, and that's when I realized it was probably my turn.
So they tell you you're going. You warm up. Take me through the walk to the mound for the first time. Were you able? Did you go slow? Did you try to be like I got to take this in, because it'd been quite the journey, as we mentioned, the 2 major surgeries. Were you able to kind of exhale and give yourself a little bit of like, damn man, we made it? How did that walk go to the mound for the first time?
Well, they say when you get to the major leagues, it's the 3rd or 4th deck that can be a little imposing, a little bit bigger stadiums than in the minor leagues. And And I had this plan in my head. I was going to keep my head down, just jog to the mound. And I was about halfway there. And before I knew it, I was staring up at that third and fourth deck, just being like, oh, I'm in it. And I think you might have saw my first pitch went to the backstop. And that's when I kind of realized it's, you know what, this is a baseball game. I've done this a million times. Nothing's different. Just, you know, do what you do. And I was fortunate enough to get through that one.
So you got through that one, and you just seem to be getting better. But I want to go to your second appearance. You're taking on the LA Dodgers, and it's Shohei Ohtani, dude. Like, Shohei Ohtani right now is like this freak guy in baseball. I've never seen anybody go 50-50, not to mention being a pitcher. Like, you're a pitcher, then imagine trying to hit 50 dingers. It's crazy when you think about it. But, you know, you struck out Freddie Freeman that game. Was that your welcome, even though it was only your second game? Was that your welcome to the MLB moment? And how was it facing Ohtani, who right now, obviously, with Judge and Witt, you know, those are like the three best hitters in the game?
The roar when he came to the plate, just his appearance of showing up to the plate was the same as when the Dodgers would hit a home run any other guy.
Wow.
It was incredible. Just standing on that mound and realizing he was in the box, it took a quick second to appreciate the moment, and then it was back to business.
How much scouting are you doing on these guys? So when you get in there, you've got a plan as a relief pitcher, right? Because, you know, you're usually, now you've pitched, I think, two and a third is their longest appearance, right? Like, so, you know, lots of 1 innings and stuff. How much advanced scouting goes into it for a reliever?
Fortunately, I don't have to do any of it.
Okay.
The team sets all that up for us. We have a meeting before every series, and we kind of go down the lineup and do's and don'ts for particular guys. And, you know, if one guy handles fastballs better than another guy, you know, we highlight that. And so you're not going in blind. You have a pretty good idea.
Eric, I know you're gaining fans all around the world and you're gaining Guardians fans, but I have to tell you, your biggest fan is my colleague, Tyler Uremchuk. It's like he's in the MLB with you every pitch. I'm going to throw him under the bus. This guy is so excited. He's got alerts on his phone, and we both know he's a sour dude. So to see him light up like a Christmas tree every time you're in the game, just know Oilers Nation is thrilled for you. We're so proud.
Well, I'm glad I can have that effect on grumpy old Uremchuk.
Now, speaking of grumpy, is it true that your nickname was Sour?
It is, yes.
Now, and is it also true that your mom said you need to smile on the mound now that you're in the majors?
Yeah, that is also true.
That is. Did you smile like when mom says that? Oh my! I'm just dying laughing about that. You're like, Mom, I'm in the majors. I'm going to do. But did you give her a smile then? Like, was it game 2 or 1 when you gave her a grin? How'd that go?
I think I've gave her a few. I mean, you know, mom knows best. But you know, sometimes it's tough to not be locked in and not be grumpy out there.
Oh, well, but I was going to ask you about that. Like, that's kind of, I don't know, is that like your on mound persona a little bit, Eric? Is that fair that, you know, when you go in there, hey, like I'm here to strike guys out. I'm here to get guys out. I'm pretty focused. Or are you a sour guy a lot of the time, or is it just on the mound?
No, just more on the mound, I'd say. I mean, when you're up there, it's you against the hitter. And I don't want to give that guy too much credit. And, you know, in the moment, it's me against him, and I'm going to do everything I can to beat him, basically. And if that takes a little bit of made-up hate, I guess, you know, I might keep rolling with it.
Eric Zabrowski, a relief pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, joins us. Only the 5th person from Edmonton to ever pitch or play in the major leagues of baseball. Actually, 4 pitchers, only 1 batter way back in 1931, in fact, was the first Edmontonian to ever play in the majors. So, and you're a very select group. How has it been for you, just from hearing from people in your childhood and friends when one of their buddies is a Major League Baseball player?
It's been awesome, you know, getting messages and stuff from old teammates and people that I've come across. It makes me feel good that I, you know, impacted some people enough for them to keep following me along in my career. And, you know, it's nice to know that I have those people cheering for me no matter what.
What is your favorite pitch to throw?
Fastball.
Now, a split finger or just straight fastball?
No, just a normal 4-seam fastball. I like we said earlier, I like to pitch a little bit angry, so I like to throw, angry fastballs in there at the top of the zone, and it's been working so far.
What has been what's the hardest pitch to master for you?
I've been trying to figure out a slider for the last 3 years, and some days it's there and some days it's not. I like to joke and call it the project sometimes.
Okay.
Because it just always seems to be a work in progress. One day it moves this way, one day it moves that way, and just trying to hone that in and be successful with it.
Eric, I've really been fascinated. I've been watching online. There's lots of interviews with pitchers talking about like the grip, for certain different pitches and and everybody holds it a little bit different. For a successful slider, because I'm sure you've talked to different people, is it the grip? Is it your arm motion? What makes a slider successful, and what right now has led to it being the project for you?
Like you said, there's so many different grips and so many ways to throw it. I think the most important thing is throwing it with conviction, and being sure of it, and trusting that if your grip and your arm path line up, the ball will move like you want it to.
Eric, can I just say that Tyler Yaremchuk texted me, stop talking to Eric about me on the radio?
How's it going, Tyler?
Yeah, we're not going to stop talking about you, Tyler. There's nothing you can do. This isn't your show.
Now, of your buddies, Eric, if you're on the mound, which one of your friends or former teammates would have the best chance to get a hit off you right now?
Oh,
well, I will shout out my buddy Ryan Krolikowski from Grand Island, Nebraska.
Okay.
He is 1-for-1 lifetime off me with a home run in a inter squad at school in Kansas.
Okay.
He made sure to remind me of that when I got called up. He said, now I get to say I took a big leaguer yard, but so I guess it'd be Ryan.
Oh, well, that's, that's like the greatest compliment chirp. Hey, I took it, but it's a big leaguer that I took deep, right? Because before it wasn't. Now you're a big leaguer. Like, all right, I'll give you that one. Lastly, Eric, you're going to the playoffs. How has that been, and just kind of being in Cleveland, man? Because like when I think Cleveland, like Major League's one of my greatest baseball movies of all time, and I'm sure you've seen it numerous times if you're a baseball guy. And Cleveland's been a great organization for a long time with tons of success in the postseason. How has it been in that market? A pretty fanatical baseball market.
It's been awesome. I mean, just like when the Oilers go on playoff run at home, you start to see the stores put up Cleveland flags, and you see a few more jerseys out on the street. And, we're hoping to get Progressive Field packed out for, I think our first game will be Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're looking real forward to that, as myself and then in this locker room too.
Well, Eric, congratulations. It's unbelievable feat. You know what? I hope you enjoy every moment of it. I hope it continues for a long, long time. And there's a lot of people watching, maybe not as passionately as your Yaremchuk, or maybe as fanatical as your Yaremchuk, but there's lots of people watching, and continued success. I hope you enjoyed, and best of luck in the playoffs.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
You betcha. There's Eric Zabrowski, man. Like his numbers, he's been killing it lately. It's got 16 Ks now and 11.1 innings of relief work. The fact now, I was looking, he went like his last 4 appearances, it's 3 strikeouts, 2 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts, 2 strikeouts. Like in his last 4, it's 10. So he's getting better as he gets more comfortable. And man, he can throw some heat. I like what he said. He goes, hey, you know what? I like to throw angry. And it's obviously working for him. And he's listed at 6'4", 230. I think he's bigger than that. Like he is a thick dude. You watch him on the mound. And when I say thick, like he's like muscular thick, not, no offense, but like not offensive lineman thick, like rib thick.
He came to a nation party at Greta, and he was recovering from Tommy John surgery. And like this enormous dude walked through the door with his arm up at like 2:00 with the robot's like extender on it.
Yeah.
We're like, who's that? And it was Eric Zabrowski.
Jeez.
He is enormous in real life. Good for him too. Not only is it long odds to come from a non-traditional baseball market, but to overcome two. Like, are there other pitchers in the MLB?
There's a few, but not like to have it almost back to back like he did. And at the level that he was playing at the time it happened, it's a remarkable story of perseverance and just continuing to get better, always believing in yourself. It's a great example for lots of people out there because it's like he said, he goes, hey, the easiest thing is to quit, right? The easiest thing you can do in sports at any level is quit and not give your hardest. Like anybody can do that. Yeah. Like anybody out there right now could just be, I'm not going to try my best. It's like the easiest thing to do. And for him to persevere, like I love watching the highlight. Like I told my son, so now my son's watching Cleveland games because when you can relate it to somebody that's close by, they want to watch more. It's great, right? And there's 2 Edmontonians pitching right now in the major leagues of baseball.
Is there really?
Yes.
Who's the other guy?
I butcher his name, but his career is pretty unique because he was in the majors for 3 years. Then he was out of the majors for 3 years. He had injuries, and now he's back in. I just want to try to say his name properly.
So I was going to ask Eric if he knew the baseball player from Edmonton from 1931, but I didn't want to look silly.
Quick, well, no, there's Rob Zastny. He's currently with the Milwaukee Brewers. Quick break. We'll come back on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Get ready, Edmonton. The country sensation, the Rec Laws, are coming to the Edmonton Expo Center Arena on October 3rd. It's your chance to see the award-winning duo that's taken the country scene by storm. From Long Live the Night to Feels Like That, the Rec Laws are bringing the party to you during Yeggs Rodeo Week. Don't miss out. Pre-sale tickets available from now until September 16th at EdmontonExpoCenter.com. Public on sale begins September 19th at 10 a.m. The Rec Laws at Edmonton Expo Center Arena on October 3rd.
Hey, it's Kevin Carius. Looking for a truck? Looking for a deal? Then head over to St. Albert Dodge. Right now, save up to $20,000 on 2024 Ram 1500 DT model trucks, including the Sport, the Rebel, Laramie, and Limited Line. It's been a long time since we've seen anything like that. And if you need one more reason to buy, remember that the 2024 Ram 1500 models are the last year of production, featuring the legendary Hemi V8. Head up the trail to see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
It's wall-to-wall savings at the Brick, where you can find deals for every room in every department. Take up to $540 off sectionals and find other amazing savings on all the essentials for your home, like up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture. Plus, don't forget about your kitchen. And buy more, save more, up to an additional $300 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Kids Sports 6th Annual Jason Gregor Pizza Pigout. Come try the best pizza Edmonton and area has to offer. Thursday, October 24th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at jasongregorpizzapigout.com.
Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretzky with you on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Did I hear Connor say it's the 6th annual Pizza Pigout?
That's right.
Am I a time traveler? It feels like year 1 was an hour ago.
Yeah, 6 years, buddy. It's gone good. It's good pizza. Get your tickets, Jason Gregor Pizza Pigout.com. Our next guest, one in their playing days, something tells me he could probably pound down a few zaws on his own. I would think, of course, one of the more intimidating defensive lineman in CFL history, Doug Brown, now an analyst for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, joins us. Doug, how you doing, man?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we appreciate it. The Bombers, Doug, 4 consecutive trips to the Grey Cup. I don't know if it's fair to say they slept walk through the first few months of the season, but since then they've been the best team in the league. I don't know if complacency is the right word, but when you look at the Bombers' first month until now, because really that's like a month that's an aberration compared to the previous 4 years and everything afterwards? What happened for that 1 month?
Well, I think they're a completely different football team than they've been the previous 4 years. So I look at the way and the style which they win games right now, and they're nowhere near as dominant, especially offensively, as they used to be. So I think they had to rediscover a different identity through the first start of the season. And, they found out they can play very high-level defensive football, but they're not super high-scoring offense anymore. So that's something they've had to contend with, and it's changed things in terms of their approach to the football game.
As a defensive player, it must be exciting to watch that defense because it's been dominant, especially here for the last 2 months. Teams are averaging like 21 points a game, and that's a struggle for the offense. What is it about the defense that offenses can't figure out?
I think it's just their levels of coverage. So, Jordan Younger was a very good defensive back in his day, and he's the newly appointed defensive coordinator who mentored under the tutelage of Richie Hall. So he knows his stuff inside and out, and he just knows how to frustrate an opponent. Like last week, I really felt like the thing where they employed 2 spies on Trey Ford in a passing situation, and that's his comfort zone. I think if when Ford doesn't see what he likes in terms of a quick look and read down the field, then his comfort zone was being able to take off. And when he found out that he couldn't do that anymore, and they kept him pretty much curtained in around the line of scrimmage, I think that really frustrated him, and I think that really affected his game. So. Jordan Younger, as the defensive coordinator of the Blue Bombers, has an innate ability to nullify, that comfort level that an opponent has, and his, like I said, his levels of coverage and the scheme he employs is very multiple and can be very frustrating for opposing teams.
Doug, we had Damon Allen on the show earlier, and he mentioned that, for young quarterbacks, it's hard to get comfortable in the pocket. It took him some time, Warren Moon, etc. But he also felt that if he was in Edmonton's case, I'd play Trey Ford every game, and I'd at least get him into some reps. And because him and Thompson are so vastly different, he felt like it might force the defense to have to game plan more. Did you ever have to do that in your career? Would it be that much of a challenge? Would there be a significant change in game plan from Bethel Thompson to Ford?
Yeah, I mean, just in a sense that in a definite passing situation, you're not going to spy MPT at all. So that actually adds more people either to the rush or that you're dropping into coverage. So I think that's a massive thing for a defensive player, whether you're a D tackle or someone in the back end or in the second level. Knowing whether you have to account for a scrambling quarterback or not is a huge advantage. So to simply break it down as a rusher, if I'm pass rushing against MBT, I can take liberties because I know he's not a massive running threat. He's not going to take off on me. But if I'm pass rushing against Trey Ford, I want to be able to two-way my pass rush, meaning I have to be able to come off on 2 gaps because he's liable once he gets spooked or once he feels that pressure, he's able to take off and really hurt your defense by escaping. So it changes the nature of the way I rush, and it's a trickle-down effect for every single position defensively on the football field, depending on the style of the quarterback you're facing.
Doug Brown joins us, analyst for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Edmonton, of course, in Winnipeg tonight to take on the Bombers. Pretty much a must-win situation for the Elks if they want to make the playoffs. Doug, you started talking about the offense of the Bombers and why it's not as dominant. How come? What's missing? What's lacking in their offense now compared to the last few years when they were a dominant offense?
I think a lot of it. I think it's equal part injuries, equal part that coverages are changing defensively. You've heard guys suggest in the NFL that they get rid of the cover 2, the Tampa 2 defense, because that 2 safety look is too difficult for offenses to successfully work against. So it's I think it's a combination of those things. And Zach Claris and Buck Pierce don't necessarily run the world's most patient offense.
Okay.
And I think that is what is required and in order to put together consecutive and consistent scoring drives. You have to be much more patient because the big shots down the field just aren't there. Teams are making that their priority to take those away. And this offense was built off of a little bit of impatience and propensity to get those big plays down the field. So something's got to give in that regard.
Doug, we really appreciate it. I know you're up against it. You got to get onto the pregame show. So thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the game tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
There you go. That's Doug Brown, analyst for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Interesting. Feels their offense isn't patient enough. And they do go for the big strike. Harder to complete, no question about it. Also, when you talk about it from a rushing perspective, the difference in just the automatic look when Trey Ford, even if he's a pocket passer, how you have to respect it different. You just have to. He just outlined it. He played the position for years. I think he knows what he's talking about. So it's one where we'll see what happens tonight with the Elks and Bethel Thompson. What is interesting to me was and I'll find the numbers because they were put out. Dare, who was on earlier this morning with Karras, he had tweeted it out earlier, and he was just talking about even the running game with Ford when he's the quarterback and how much better they've been. So here's the numbers, right? When Bethel Thompson's the quarterback, Brown is getting 4.9 yards per carry. When Ford's in, Brown is up to 6.3. Rankin with Bethel Thompson, 7 yards a carry. With Ford, 8.7. Leak with Bethel Thompson, 4.8. With Ford, 11. Now, small sample size. I have to say that. Small sample size. But it is, and that was from Derek Taylor, who's analyst for or announcer for the Voice of the Bombers. Well, some interesting numbers. That the running game, because everyone's like, wow, you know what? Because if you actually look at the passing numbers, even if you want to take out the first 7 games, which I find it a unique thing, but okay, take it out. Even since then, Bethel Thompson's had one game where he was really passing the ball. The one game, 486 yards against Calgary. That was it. Other games, 200 yards, 219 yards. He's not dominating in the pocket. It's the biggest myth out there. I don't know why people keep repeating it. It's not true. Right? The numbers are there. I'm not making them up. They're right there. Anybody can go look at it. The game they beat Calgary, Bethel Thompson completed 15 to 25 passes for 219 yards. Those aren't out of this world numbers by any stretch. So I don't believe he's played nearly as dominant as people are suggesting that he has lately. So we'll see tonight. The Elks need a win. They need to win badly if they want to make the playoffs. Like, let's be real here. You started 0-7. They don't deserve to make the playoffs, number one. Number two, they're going to have to go 4-0 to do it. They've won 13 of their last 50 games. To go 4-0, I hope they do it. It would be a miracle if they did it. Truly, it would be. Let's call a spade here. So, and they're going up in Winnipeg against the Bombers. Like tonight if Trey Ford was starting tonight, I still think I would be picking the Bombers. No question. The Bombers are the favorite. Now, maybe they're due for a loss. If you want to play the odds and say, hey, they're due for a loss, very possible. But their defense has been really good. So we'll see what the Elks can come up with. Rankin is starting at the running back position. We'll see how many carries he gets. And Bethel Thompson at QB. The good news for the Elks, they don't have to score that many points. It's not like the Bombers offense, as Doug Brown just said, is putting up huge points. So it might be a game where you can win if you score 22 points maybe. So we'll see. Coming up after 4 o'clock, Troy Stetcher is going to join us at 4:20. Actually, I pre-taped that interview with Troy. I think Oilers fans, I think you're going to like some of the answers. So we'll get to that. We got the 2-minute warning. We'll hear Wanye's World and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. So the month of September, Fountain Tires teamed up with Sports Central to help get 1,000 bikes for kids. So if you have a bike, you want to donate it, maybe it needs to be fixed up, don't worry. They have mechanics who will do it. Go to sports1440.ca and you can see all the locations. There's Sports Central locations. There's some Fire Hall locations, obviously multiple Fountain Tire locations. 868 bikes donated so far. Their goal is to get to 1,000. You can do it tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. That's where you take your donation, help them out, and get kids riding a bike. Just think about how awesome it was when you had a bike. We'll return.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Elks in action tonight out in Winnipeg, taking on the Bombers. That one gets going at 6 o'clock. McLeod Bethel Thompson gets to start under center. Later tonight, 8:30, you got the BC Lions taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Los Angeles Kings defenseman Drew Doughty will undergo surgery to repair a fractured ankle. He's considered month to month. And one of the greatest to ever do it, Christine Sinclair, international football's all-time leading goal scorer, announced today that she is retiring from the sport at the end of the National Women's Soccer League season. That'll be November 1st, being the finale. Major League Baseball today, the Jays are in action, taking on the Miami Marlins. First pitch, 5:07. You also got the Pirates in the Bronx, the Guardians hosting the Astros, Rays take on the Red Sox, Twins host the Orioles, Mets in Milwaukee, the Diamondbacks taking on the Padres. Earlier today, the Cubs get past the Reds 1-0. President's Cup action out in Montreal. Well, the States went 5-0 yesterday. Today, though, the international team going 5-0. We got a tie heading into the weekend. College football, Miami will host Virginia Tech at 5:30. Then at 6 o'clock, Rutgers will host Washington in New Jersey. And at the collegiate level, the number 9 ranked University of Alberta Golden Bears football teams in Saskatchewan to take on the Huskies. Kickoff 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Golden Bears soccer takes on Saskatchewan tomorrow and Regina on Sunday. Both games noon at Foot Field. At 2:15, you got the Pandas taking on Lethbridge tomorrow in Saskatchewan on Sunday. And also tomorrow down at the Jasper Place Bowl, the Huskies hosting the Wildcats. Kickoff set for 7. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear comments from Troy Stetcher. Also, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. And we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Rule number 62. Never miss a free pancake breakfast. It's unheard of and frankly a little upsetting. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instants, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days. Because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Ain't it beautiful? What does excellence mean to you, and how does it impact your decisions? Friends, it's Carrie Dahl, and I know that at Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't an option, it's their everything. From customer satisfaction in sales, service, inventory, and retention, they excel in all. Congratulations, Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners.
The word cut. So we all pose it again. Because that...
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440 every weekend. Catch all
Pick
the
me.
action with play-by-play announcement
Through monumental disappointment.
Blue Jays this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for all things sports.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
They never were.
Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the
That
best
comes from the
stages
writer.
on with karaoke on Wednesday.
Never thought such pristine prose.
Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage
Work with me
and
here.
DJ
Paul
Kenny
Maurice.
For everything that's
What
going
did he do?
on the Rocks,
December 17th.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
And on the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation.
Okay, hands on your buzzers.
Seatbelt-equipped buses have
Or on your handy-dandy
carrier
phone.
for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Imagine hitting 13 out of 14 fairways from the tee. It can happen. It does happen with a driver created for you by Fitted Golf. We are the only company in Edmonton who fits for all 9 features of each golf club. Amateurs learn to play like amateurs from amateurs. Come work with our professional team of scientists, engineers, and club builders and get fitted with the clubs designed for one golfer. You.
Entirely sure why
FittedGolf.ca
he was
today.
stepping away.
Fitted Golf,
Thing.
where we continue to prove
Something he felt he had
clubs.
his keys. So
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer service for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote. Hey, Jason.
Positive Friday rolling through the Gregor Show. Connor Halley, one Gretzky with you, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. NFL, MLB, CFL. It's a busy week. Heck, you might want to get in on the President's Cup. Did you see what happened today? So yesterday, the U.S. swept them 5. They're up 5. You're thinking it's over. International team came back today, swept them. It's even now, going into the weekend. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Let's be real. I didn't think so at all. I don't know. It might have been Kim Woo who made the putt on the final hole, and the play they just went bananas. It's kind of unique about golf when they play in these type of events, right? We're all teammates and everybody's fired up about it. Because anybody who now I get it, you want to be an individual sport, it's awesome. But to be an individual sport and then get to play in one of these once or twice, I think that's awesome. Because team sports are just something about when, like, you score a big goal, your team scores a big goal or bucket, whatever, and you're coming off the sidelines of the bench going nuts. Well, some of the best memories of team sports.
For a lot of those guys, too, they're probably cheering against each other most weeks. So to come together with a team atmosphere is a unique thing.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if they cheer for against each other, but they're competing hard, right? So they're just like, yeah, oh, well, okay, good putt. But, it's not like you're going crazy. You know how it is.
But you'd very rarely see a PGA player say good shot to another player, like gamesmanship.
I don't know. Some of those guys.
Do they?
Yeah, I've read some interviews where they're just like, certain guys on the court, it's like some guys are really good friends. But hey, man, good shot. Like, they're not like, you suck. And if he makes a good shot, like, because you think about it in hockey or even in other sports, when the opposition makes a really good play, you've seen guys be like, hey, good play, right? It happens.
I suppose. I just think that one of the things that would be kind of interesting as a golfer is suddenly you have people that you're playing with cheering for you.
Yeah, no, that's true. We're going to get to the 2-minute warning in a sec. Lots of texts flying in. 833-401-1440 in our inbox. 833-401-1440. Your partner in power since 1976. All the electrical gear you need. And guess what? They make it even easier for you to get it. 24/7. You can order it. Get it. EWEL.ca. The Oilers practice today. They will be on the ice tomorrow night. Those who are playing, anyway, will skate first in the morning like a normal. They're getting into their normal routine now. So keep in mind, for their first 4 preseason games, there was no morning skate for the players who are playing. Now they'll get back to the routine. There'll be a morning skate tomorrow morning for those who are playing at night. And then those who aren't at night, they will practice afterwards, kind of like you normally would for the players who don't play in a regular season game. Then they play again Vancouver on Monday. Then into Seattle Wednesday, into Vancouver Friday. Remember, for those of you, Monday, holiday here at Sports 1440, but there is the Order game. It'll be on TV that night, Sportsnet. Also, their final game against the Canucks, also televised. You can watch tomorrow's game at Oilers Plus. Same with the game in Seattle. You can see. And based on everything Knobloch has said, should expect McDavid and Draisaitl's lines to play 3 of the final 4 games. Because they've only played 1, and he's used the number 4 quite often. That's what he wants them to play. It's 4 games. Bouchard and Ekholm probably playing 3. Now, Darnell Nurse isn't going to play 4. They're hoping he gets in 2. Right? Stuart Skinner, does he need 2 more starts? Probably. 2.5 games is kind of what the goalies go for. I would think I'm curious which games they'll give Skinner. Did they give him Monday, Wednesday? Saturday? Like, I don't think, because they play Seattle Saturday, Wednesday, and they play Vancouver Monday, Friday. I don't think you're going to give him both of Seattle or both of Vancouver. I could be wrong, but something tells me he'll play one of each against them. I always like when we get just random text messages to the show. Now, we still get text messages sometimes that aren't meant for us.
What?
Oh, all the time. If somebody's like texting their wife, never anything bad. Once. But I usually be like, yeah, okay, I'm picking up, the kids or groceries or whatever. And then we're just like, okay, thanks, great. Can you throw in some bananas? Always throw a few joke lines in there. But sometimes you just have a random one that we haven't even talked about a topic of the day, and it just comes in. So it's Positive Friday, so I'm going to read this one just because there's a story behind it. Hey, Gregor, I heard you say a while back that you were a server at Brewster's downtown when they first opened. The software company I worked for had a Christmas party back then. It was upstairs. The server was the best server I had the pleasure of being served by, and I'm pretty sure that server was you. Service so good I never forgot. Walter. Oh, Walter, I appreciate that. I did work upstairs at the Brewster's. That was I love working at that place. It's the one time in my life where I fabricated my resume. I have never been a server before, and I felt like it can't be that hard. I will say, though, the first shift was a lot harder than I thought. But so what I did was for places that I'd worked, I just listed 2 restaurants that I knew had closed down.
Smart.
So they couldn't necessarily check if they were going to. So, if that's the only time I've lied in a resume, just on a Positive Friday. So that was it's kind of funny, but you know what? I love Brewster's working there. It was great. Still the same location on 116th, but I was going to Nate at the time, back when I was taking health, safety, environment, technology. Kind of a waste of my time, but nonetheless, that's when they paid us to go to school. It's crazy. Anyway, I would go to Nate, and then I would work, and I always worked the Friday. Sometimes I'd do a split shift where you'd work 11 to 2, and then you get off for a few hours, and you worked 4 to 7. Which hindsight, it was really cheap. I'm like, so I would get off at 2 and then have to work at 4. What a joke. Anyway, the Friday was packed when I worked there. Like jammed to the roof rafters. Upstairs, it was unreal. It's a great place to work. I used to walk out of there with tons of cash on a Friday night in 3 hours.
I'm trying to think what you must have done 11 years ago at that software company's Christmas party to be that. Were you singing?
Dude, longer than that.
Were you
Way
singing?
longer than that. No, we're talking like close to 20 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Didn't you say 11 in the text?
Nope. They never said 11. No.
I'm just making that up in my head.
Yeah,
well,
you are.
So what do you think you did? Like, what were you doing that was so memorable?
Well, I have no idea. I just remember I have a good memory, so I never screwed up an order. And I was pretty personal. I could talk about a lot of things. So
Sports?
I know, but just kind of, I was really good at remembering people. So obviously Walter, if he was there with a Christmas party, right? So people are in the mood for Christmas party, right? Like people come in, they're automatically in a good mood. So all you have to do is just encourage to keep their mood up. Hey, have a great Christmas party. That's kind of what I would always do. Like, you don't want to, you just kind of zoom in enough so they know you're there, but not enough that you're overbearing. That was always my style.
Did you ever make a bartender's root beer on shift and have a little sip of the creature?
No, I bartended one shift, but the wood at the Brewster's wasn't very busy. I'm like, I'm not going to make any money here. So I went to the guy and said, I'd rather waiter than be a bartender.
Bartender's root beers, you take that silver cup for shaking up drinks.
Yeah.
You make yourself a secret root beer, but it has, booze.
Jaeger in it?
Whatever you want. Doesn't have to be Jaeger.
No.
You're the bartender.
No, I never, I can honestly say at Brewster's, well, I might have had a shot with the group every now and then, but very rarely. I didn't really drink when I worked.
Did you keep a mini set of fries at the island where you do the pass through for the people's dishes? Did you have a little dish going there and keep some fries going during your shift?
No.
What?
No, I didn't eat during my shift. I did before. Like my shifts weren't that long. It's not like I'm like, dude, it wasn't like I was working at the nightclub from 7 p.m. till 2 a.m.
Never eat nightclub fries.
No.
I wouldn't trust the kitchen.
No, the original Brewsters did have a sick clubhouse though. Like I loved the clubhouse. I've always loved the clubhouse.
It blew my mind you had a brewery in the Brewsters.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
That's incredible.
Dude, the brewmaster there was sick. Little Hammerhead Red, Flying Frog. Ooh, still remember those, man. Those are killer beers. Killer beers. They had the old original. I think of some of the other ones they had. They had the wheat beer. I remember that.
And
then
one.
sometimes you'd go the Flying Frog and Hammerhead, and they'd mix half and half.
I remember they give you the tasters. That's what I remember. You'd be like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Bring me 3 more Flying Frogs, and maybe I'll be convinced. They bring you the little shot glasses. You could try the beers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the samplers.
Delish.
Come on, you got to have one of those.
Got to try one.
It's great. Hey, guys, have you looked potential waiver wire options yet? I know you said you would, Nicholas. No, Nicholas, I'll be honest. I'm going to look at those starting on Monday because let's be real here. We'll have a better sense of who's going to be put on waivers once teams get to their final 2 games. Because most teams cut down, Buffalo and New Jersey, they basically have their rosters now. Those are the 2 easiest ones to pick because anybody who's over in Europe, they're on the team. So those 2 teams are pretty easy. And if you look at some of the rosters, you're like, nah, I don't think so. We mentioned it yesterday. Bajimo in LA, he's going to be a very interesting player. If I'm the Kings, I don't say that guy scored 43 goals in 50 games last year, 23 years of age. 43 goals in 50 games. He's had a few short stints in the NHL, but I could see why the Kings would be a little leery of him. 43 goals in 50 games in the America. There's going to be like the Anaheim Ducks, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Are you kidding me? They'd be looking at giving a guy a chance. And he also did get claimed on waivers already last year by Nashville, but then they put him back on waivers, and then LA's able to reclaim him. So he's definitely one that I would I'll be watching. Now, the thing is, I'm not sold that he fits into what Edmonton needs. Like, if Edmonton was going to claim anybody, it would have to be a center. And I think it would probably have to be a veteran right shot center. That's what I see them claiming. I don't. And somebody with a low cap hit. That's like Derek Ryan makes $900K. I think the max they'd go is $1 million. So those are the type of guys you'd probably look at to be able to see how it goes. Let's get to the 2-minute warning now with Cam Tate, of course, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in Edmonton. He's in a wheelchair. He has cerebral palsy, and for years has always wanted to be on radio, but unfortunately, due to his disabilities, unable to until now. The wonders of technology in voice box take Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
We all have bike memories, don't we? And that magic moment. Hands tight, but not too tight. Feet sturdy on the pedals. Balance. Just right. And the person behind us. Let's go the rear fender. And we feel the wonderful freedom, the independence, and the oh so priceless gift of confidence. And remember how cool it was to join our friends, our buddies who got a bike before we did. And that day we cycled up with our buddies. We were one of them, right? We had it going on big time. And the new places we could go now on our bike, to school, swimming lessons, to hockey practices, figure stake sessions, to places of worship. And remember the pride we had to show the people in our lives, our parents, our brothers and sisters, our grandparents, and of course our friends. 2 things: that we had a bike, and perhaps even better, we could ride it by ourselves. It's the last Friday in September. Sports all over the damn place. We could talk about the big Edmonton Elks game in Winnipeg. They need to win against the Blue Bombers. 2, keep their playoff lives alive. We could talk debate whether starting McLeod Bethel-Thompson at quarterback over Trey Ford. And we could talk about how everything is mighty fine in Dallas after the Cowboys beat the New York Giants last night. Hockey too. Home opener Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. Rogers Place. Edmonton Oil Kings, Calgary Hitmen. And of course, the Edmonton Oilers continue their preseason Saturday night. Rogers Place. Sports. It's all about people, players. And I will bet Granddad Tate's farm homestead, 90%, if not more, had a bicycle to ride, to gain so many skills, some they didn't know they had. But not every child has that opportunity, but you. And Sports Central have an opportunity to help. Saturday. Tomorrow is the last Saturday you can take a bike to a location, which in Sports Central will then get it to someone without a bike. From 10 till 3. I have put the details on my Twitter feed at Cam Tate. Again, Saturday, 10 to 3. Let's all do what we can. 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. Monday, Friday. Jason Gregor Show. Sports 4T40.
Oh, yeah. Favorite bike, Wanye?
What do you mean?
What was your favorite bike as a kid?
Well, I only had one bike. I've told you this story, Gregor.
What? You only had one bike your whole childhood?
When I was in grade 3, I stopped locking my bike up inside the garage at our house. And my parents said, Wanye, There's been many break-ins in the neighborhood. If you don't take care of your bike and lock it up, it's going to get stolen.
Okay.
We're not going to get you a new one. My bike got stolen.
In grade 3.
And they didn't get me a new one.
That's a pretty tough lesson.
In grade 9, the police found it. And they got in
6
contact.
years later.
Yeah. And they said, we found your bike. And I said, this is going to be great. And I went down to the pawn shop. And I'll be danged if I hadn't grown. And that bike was too small.
You're serious? Like, I could see how your parents said, I'm not going to get you a bike for like a month or 2 months. 6 years.
We learned a hard lesson.
Buddy,
I'm still talking about it.
Well, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Jeez, it's tough. Like, I can say, hey, well, they stuck to their word. What'd you learn from it?
Don't trust your parents because they will stick to their word. I thought that leaving a bike in a garage was sufficient security. And I had things to do. I was in grade 3 and I would just ride it in the garage and leave it against the wall. Thinking,
well, couldn't you lock your garage door?
But someone broke into the garage.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you should have said, hey, they would have stole the bike anyway.
Not if I locked it up in the garage.
Did they steal anything else?
Seemed to me that the bike was the only thing that mattered. I don't remember.
Oh, well, I wonder. Well, that would be my question. If they stole something else that they hadn't locked up, you should have said, wait a sec. Now, you can't get any of the new stuff of that either.
You think in grade 3 I can pull that kind of rank?
No, you probably can't. But it would have, if you had, they couldn't have argued. It'd have been like, phew, this young kid's a prodigy. But they didn't. We'll come back. Troy Stetcher. Next. Troy Stetcher, a player who nearing 500 NHL games. It's quite the career. A lot of guys have played 500 games. And he believes he is more than capable of being an integral part of the Oilers team. Listen to that coming up next on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook, sports1440.ca, presented by playalberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries.
I'm just
find a trailer right for
kind
you
of
online.
focused on myself right now.
Other 3 locations for sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients, better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's wall-to-wall savings at the Brick, where you can find deals for every room in every department. Take up to $540 off sectionals and find other amazing savings on all the essentials for your home, like up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture. Plus, don't forget about your kitchen and buy more, save more. Up to an additional $300 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
This is Kevin Carries from Sports 1440. Join me at Century Sports Bar and Lounge for a big watch party. We'll be showing the first big game of the season on October 4th at 8 p.m. That's the Sports Bar at Century Casino, Fort Road, Edmonton. We will see you there.
They say at any given moment, only 7% of people are looking for a car. And that 7% notices advertising for cars. Everyone else, 93%, doesn't even hear it. So this ad is just for the 93% who aren't going to really notice any car ads right now anyway. Hey, it's Scott here from Sherwood and St. Albert Dodge. And I hope you, yes, you, the person listening right now, I hope you have a great day. Anyway, that's it. I'm done.
Positive Friday rolling through. How are you? Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz, Connor Halley, as we make our way through. You made it through another week. Now you get some time off, maybe a long weekend as a Truth and Reconciliation Day on Monday. And then, of course, we are into October on Tuesday, which means you're 8 days away from, actually not even 8, technically be 3 days, because the NHL regular season officially begins next Friday, a week today, when Buffalo, New Jersey get going, and they're playing in Europe. They play on the 4th and the 5th. Then they'll fly home. Then the rest of the NHL gets going on Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. Actually, some teams, I think it's the Ducks and a few other teams, don't play until the 11th. But the Oilers will drop the puck on their season on Wednesday against the Jets, then have 2 days off. Then they play back-to-back against Calgary and Chicago. But guess what? They're playing back-to-back both times the opposition they're playing back-to-back. So a little early on, lots of games for the Edmonton Oilers, 6 of their first 8 at home.
Now, Gregor, you're an even keel guy. Are you excited that the season's around the corner? Is it just another day, another dollar at the Gregor household?
Oh, dude, trust me, man. I can't wait to get past preseason. Are you kidding me? I'm counting down the days. So it's great. Tonight's just another night. Get rid of some preseason. By the time we come back on air on Tuesday, there'll only be 2 preseason games left. So yes, no, I'm always excited for a new season. There's, you know what? I'm actually compiling right now. You know, I like to do a lot of research. I'm going to have an article about 100 milestones, oddities, different things across the NHL that are likely to be reached this season in the NHL. Of course, some with McDavid, Crosby, Ovechkin, Matthews, and others. And then some very random ones, which I like, which I think are pretty good. So that's I think I'm at 58 right now. So I got 42 left to go. I kind of know where I'm looking, and I always look for things that no one else has really talked about. So it'll be fun. So that'll be coming out. That'll come out probably on the Monday before the regular season officially begins in North America. Anyway,
do you want to hear a stat that'll blow your mind?
Sure.
This is the 17th season of Oilers Nation, Gregor. The 17th season that we've sat down with our little website and tried to plot the course.
Oh.
Yet you and I haven't aged a day.
17 seasons. You've been in the playoffs. 6. So yeah. That's getting better. Every year your odds get better, your percentage of playoff, right? This will be set. What did I say? They made it 1 and then they made it 5 in a row here. So 6. This will be 7 out of 17.
Has it been 5 years in a row we've made the playoffs?
Well, this would be 6. Every year with Ken Holland as the GM, they made the playoffs. No. Well, I know that's very different. Yet people are like, oh, Ken Holland was terrible. I don't understand that rationale at all. Just went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. They lost. Oh, brutal GM. Did nothing right. Nothing right at all.
I watched a documentary on, I think it was on Amazon the other day, and it was about the 5 Russian Red Wing players.
Oh, yes.
And they had young Ken Holland.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a completely different interview in that documentary than he was as the GM of the Oilers.
In what sense?
Just like, I think this was a really crazy time for these guys. Because if you think about being in sports, you're kind of removed from the real world. But when you're trying to get Sergei Fedorov to come join the Red Wings, and he's got a KGB agent with him, and you're trying to take him out the back of the hotel, and the limo driver turns around and says to the 3 Red Wings guys, hey, are you in the mob or something? This has to be exciting even by NHL executive standards. And when Ken Holland was getting interviewed about it, he just looked thrilled.
Oh, well, it was a big deal back then, right? Like it was no different than when you go back to, when they brought in And we had Rich Winter on telling the story of bringing over Frank Musil. Then you go, the Stashny brothers. Like, well, it was pretty scary for some of those places to come over here. There's no question about it, right? Like, was McGillney? Did McGillney? I got to look at the timeline on when those guys came over. But I thought McGillney was over before them.
He was one of the early guys to
Yes.
come over. Fedorov said, as they're leaving to sneak out the back of the hotel, I have to go talk to this guy by the elevator, and it's his roommate. And he says, "Don't worry, I haven't gone to jail. I've gone to Detroit." That's crazy.
Oh, it's a very different time. And in some of those countries, even nowadays, like, we're very lucky. I'm not even sure what the worst thing we have to deal with in the big picture of life in Canada is, right? Like, obviously everything can improve. There's no question, but we have nothing. We have lots of rights. Yeah, I know. You know what? You wish that we didn't have to wait in line for some medical procedures. I understand that, but in the grand scheme of life, we're pretty lucky for sure. Now let's get to the oil report, brought to you by VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. And this long weekend, your opportunity to stop in. You can save up to $8,000 on remaining 2024 XC90s. I've had one for over 3 years. It's an unbelievable vehicle. I highly recommend it. Smooth, easy to drive. It's got all the bells and whistles. Stop in VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. Test drive one today. Tell Jordy Sports 1440 sent you. Troy Stetcher in a battle for the Oilers blue line. Stetcher, of course, opted to re-sign in Edmonton, and I just asked him about kind of that competition that you're in, and kind of how he approaches it.
I'm just kind of focused on myself right now and making sure I'm putting my best foot forward and giving my best effort every single day, and that's all I can really ask of myself. And at the end of the day, whatever's going to help the team win is what I want to do. I think, not to change your question, but I think you look at the offseason, a lot of guys took less. I'm not one of those guys by any means, but I definitely want to be a part of this culture and be a part of this team. So whether I'm in the lineup or not, I'm going to come to the rink every day with the purpose to, give my best effort and try to help the team win.
I was told that you basically said, money's not important to me. I want to be here. I want to be in this situation. Why was it so important at this stage of your career to be there? What was it when you got acquired by Edmonton that made you so passionate about wanting to stay here?
I think it's a two-part question. Not to throw shade at any other organization I've been on, but this is by far the best team I've been on. I think my first 3 years in Vancouver, we weren't very good. And the bubble year, we had a run, but even then we weren't in a playoff spot when the season, ended, and we ended up winning the play-in. And then go to Detroit, we were rebuilding, and then got traded to LA. So I had a little kick of the can there in the playoffs, but Detroit wasn't an opportunity. And Arizona, obviously we were rebuilding. So just, being a part of this organization and having a chance to win was super special. And then the second part of it was last year, get acquired at the deadline. Obviously came here hurt and then ended up having to get surgery. And as frustrating as it was individually, it was super motivating and inspiring too, just to be around the guys and see, the level of commitment and, work ethic they put in and, what they achieve. And ultimately we fell short, but I just wanted to have a healthy kick at the can and see if I could help this group. So just really wanted to be a part of this organization. I think they're world class. It starts obviously with the leadership group inside the room, and then there's a trickle down effect, obviously, I think through ownership, management, coaching staff. It was a really good place, and I enjoyed my time last year with the limited time that I was here.
I'm assuming there's got to be a real high belief in yourself. I was looking at your numbers and all those stops. As you mentioned, they weren't necessarily good teams, but you've still played over 5,000 minutes against top line forwards. So it's not like you're not used to that. If everybody knows Darnell Nurse is looking for a partner on that second line, whether it's second or third line. How confident do you feel that given the opportunity, you can fill that role?
I don't really care what the opinion is of everybody else. I have the belief in myself, and I guess the only thing you can fall back on is an experience, and I've done it in the past, and it might have not been from game one on, but in Vancouver, my most common partner was Edler, and we, in the playoffs, we played against O'Reilly's line against St. Louis, and we played against Tuck's line in Vegas, and in Detroit, I played with Mark Stahl, and the second pair is more of a shutdown pair, and Phil Horan kind of had the offensive side of things, so definitely have experience doing it. I don't know if maybe there's a bias just against my size, and there's not that confidence in the ability of me to do it from day one, but I definitely think at the end of the day, I take a lot of pride in the way I prepare, and it's a cheesy saying, but if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, and that's something I really believe in. So when they call knocking, I feel like I'm always able to provide good minutes.
A lot of the D-men, when Paul Coffey came in, they raved just about the conversations and the communication they had. Everybody obviously knows what he was as a player, but they're really impressed by his whole attitude. You make plays. I don't care if you're the ninth defenseman or the first defenseman. I expect you to make plays. What's your conversations been with Paul as far as what he expects from you this year?
I don't think we've really had a conversation about what he expects out of me, but I mean, you just touched on it. He wants everybody to make plays, and for a guy like me, that's like, I love hearing that, just because there's been times where past organizations, I feel like I've had to kind of dial back my game, where if I make a mistake, maybe they take away my opportunity just based on my stature. They're going to give a bigger guy, kind of more leeway. So hearing that here is obviously reassuring for myself. And I know it was X amount of years ago, but I do have an offensive side to my game that, I had in college. I ran a power play with 5 NHL guys, and I did it in Vancouver my first year. And I'm not seeing a power play guy by any means, but I do think I have more offense to provide than maybe I have in the past couple of years. And I just think a lot of that comes from, coaching and confidence.
How have you been able to excel being a smaller defenseman and playing the tougher minutes? Is it quick stick, quick feet? What allows you to defend well?
I think more than anything, it's just the limited defending, where you can break a puck out quick, then you're not spending time in your own zone. So I think that's the most important. And then secondly, I think just having a really good stick. And then 2 is I'm not scared to get hit. I think, I'm not saying guys are scared to go in the corner, but I'm kind of fearless in that regard, where I'll just throw a name out, Ryan Reeves. It doesn't really bother me going in a corner. My first NHL fight was against Matt Martin, even though he jumped me. But, I don't. At the end of the day, I take a lot of pride in playing for my teammates, and I think that's just allowed me to have a lot of success in this league and play as many games as I have.
There's Troy Stetcher. Really good answers. Talk pretty honestly. He says, hey, you know what? I got more offense. Want an opportunity, Paul Coffey, and make plays. I can make plays. I'm fearless. I don't really care who I play against. And if you watch his game, he is that way. And, just talking to him afterwards, he has a chip on his shoulder. And when you look at his size, I think he kind of has to have that. And when I say chip on his shoulder, he's actually a super friendly guy, not a everybody hates me chip. He just I have to approach it with kind of a bleep you attitude, is what he told me.
And he says he ran a power play in college and he's not afraid of Ryan Reeves. Let's go.
Stetcher's the guy, honestly. I know there's been lots of talk about Emberson and people talking about Brown. I would not sleep on Troy Stetcher at all. I won't be shocked. I think at some point you're going to see that. Might not be for game 1, but I do think it's something you're going to see. He is he's competitive. I get there's obviously some concerns, and I've said it. Would I want him on my second pair in the playoffs? Probably not. If I'm being bluntly honest, no, because size becomes more of a factor because there's more contact. It's just a bigger game in the playoffs. It just is. That's not a knock. It's just how it goes, right? Heck, Cale Makar. All I got to do is look at Cale Makar's playoff numbers. The deeper it goes in the playoffs. Even Cale Makar struggled. Not the biggest guy. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but it just becomes harder. That's the advantage that Bouchard has over Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar is that he's 6'3". Bigger reach, right? You're able to absorb more. He's never going to be Cale Makar in his mobility or anything, but there are going to be some advantages that he'll have. And that's a big benefit to him. So, but I'll be honest, I'm probably a little bullish, maybe more than others when it comes to Stetcher, but I like his game. And I think the big thing is because if you go back and look, when he was in Arizona his last few years, he was kind of in the babysitter role. He's playing with all the young guys. Well, there's really no young guys in Edmonton. If he's playing with Nurse, he's playing with Kulak. He definitely doesn't have to babysit them. So it's I can just focus on me, not be like, hey, you know what? We're going to put Kesselring beside you. We're going to put Moser beside you and et cetera. And we want you to kind of help mentor them. And it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. But it can be difficult at times. Like Matthias Ekholm can thrive in it, sure. But even Matthias Ekholm says, hey, I gave Bouchard a few tips, but ultimately he still runs his own stuff. So there you go. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Boys, Love that interview. That's the type of determination and attitude I want on the team. Listening to him, it's going to be an NHL coach one day. What an interview. Comes from Scott. All the Brown talk about how awfully his Stetcher deserves a spot over him. Yeah, again, I haven't made an assessment yet on Brown because there's not much it can take from those first few preseason games. The next 4 games, I think it's totally valid to say, okay, what do they got there? We'll see what they have. We'll come back. 5 questions, spec, and more on a busy, positive Friday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website. Get your tickets, Lotto Max tonight. It is the Matthew Garon lottery number, 32 million. Max Millions at PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton's premium live music and party venue is
On the Rocks.
Check out Bingo Tunes on Monday. Perform on the best stage in town with karaoke on Wednesdays. Learn how to salsa with Salsa Rocks on Thursdays. And every weekend, OTR goes live.
With your favorite bands on the OTR stage and DJ Kenny K.
For everything that's going on at On the Rocks, give us a follow.
Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
At On the Rocks, EDM.
Eat well, party hard.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Open every day till 2 a.m.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Rule number 41, never challenge a goose in the Bow Valley. They run this town and they know it. Summer in Alberta has its own set of rules. And if you're looking to add a little extra fun, Play Alberta has it all. Use promo code SUMMER to snag a $50 casino bonus for casino, instance, and live dealer with your next deposit. Get ready for promotions throughout the summer to help you make the most of those sunny Alberta days, because we all know they don't last long enough. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the words. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
$4.43. You know, there's times in your life where you question if you even know a person.
Or question reality. Are you even alive? Right
I'm almost speechless at the news that we just uncovered during the commercial break here at Sports 1440. Like, you know what? I'm a big believer that people, you know, you want to carve your own path.
Sure.
Try different things in life. Right. Like, I understand. Hey, you want to cheer for the Chargers and be disappointed for the rest of your life, that's no problem. I can respect that. Like, that's totally fine. Right? You have 24 different Chargers jerseys. Sure. Odd, but whatever. You're a fan. I can understand all of that. But I'm questioning how this person is going to be a successful father having never tried a peanut butter and jam sandwich ever in his life. And like, I've met your parents. I question at first why they called you one name, but then never call you by your real name. There's Thomas is his real name, Thomas Connor.
You have to be kidding me.
No, it's Thomas Connor, but they call him Connor. But that's fine. I've heard that a few times, right? Like his dad obviously changed his mind the minute they left the hospital, and he's like, I guess we're going with Connor. Or maybe his dad was like, hey, you know what? In 2017, Connor, you'll be happy your name's Connor in Edmonton. Like maybe he had a crystal ball. I'm not sure. But to never feed your child and to disrupt him from the gloriousness of a peanut butter and jam sandwich. Like, how rich was your family that you couldn't have a peanut butter and jam sandwich as a child?
We couldn't afford both, actually. That was the problem.
Well, you just said that you like them separate.
No, I don't like them separate. I don't like sandwiches on bread. I think it's not good to me. It's too mushy.
You don't like then you don't like sandwiches. What else is a sandwich on if it's not on bread?
Playing cards.
It can be toasted. It can be on a bun.
So toasted peanut butter is amazing. Toasted peanut butter with jam, stunningly good. Homemade. So have you ever had homemade raspberry jam?
Yeah. We got like farmers in the family that would give us homemade jam for sure.
And you never even thought once. Like, what about when you went to a friend's house and they're just like, their parents are making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? You just didn't get one by like osmosis?
I don't think I was ever offered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at a friend's house.
Like,
no.
are some of your friends like grossly allergic to nuts?
Possibly. I don't know. I'll say, like, I don't know if I don't remember ever having one. My parents could have. Like,
trust me, you'd remember it because it's delicious.
My siblings would like get them in their lunches, and I would just say no. I don't want that.
You were real picky. We're gonna have to have.
Oh yeah,
we might have to get your mom on the show here. She bakes great cookies, by the way, Mrs. Halley. Thank you very much. She dropped some off the other day. They were amazing. But not feeding your son.
Do you know what I had for lunch? In junior high when it didn't look
sardine
good.
like
caviar. No, I would have a bun with just butter on it. And then do
you have taste buds?
Yeah. I like.
Are you sure?
It was a good. I mean, who doesn't go through a phase where you like just buttering up some toast, like buttered toast? You guys don't like that every once in a while?
Well, of course we do, but we also like peanut butter and jelly.
Hey,
I'm starting to wonder who Thomas Halley is.
Guys, no peanut butter and jam sandwiches. That is borderline child abuse from Dean. Dean, I'm with you. Like, it's just like that. Your kid's living too sheltered of a life. Like all the joy that you miss, like peanut butter and jam sandwich, man. It's unreal. Like, now we can have a debate on which is better, raspberry or strawberry. I like both, but if I had a choice, I'm taking the raspberry jam and the peanut butter. 100%. Even blueberry jam.
I'd just like to say it's not child abuse. I didn't want it. It was not that it wasn't offered to me, Dean. I just didn't want it.
What about now, though?
No.
So so your young child, you're not going to, is Ashley had a peanut butter and jam sandwich?
Yeah. She's a
okay,
fan.
thank God. Okay. So at least your child's not going to be,
If Connor Jr. wants one, he can have one. But
there is no chance it's Connor Jr.
No, it's got to be Thomas Connor the third.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. Yeah. Should be Thomas Jr. But they don't call you Thomas, so it'd be perfect. That's actually brilliant. You could call your son Thomas Jr. Everyone's like, well, who's Thomas? Well, my dad. Well, we call him Connor. That's right.
You could call him T2 like the Terminator.
Oh, unbelievable.
He will have the choice, whatever he wants.
You know what you can't call him? PB and J.
That'd be a terrible name.
What's your favorite peanut butter and jam? What's the jam?
Oh, I go raspberry.
Yeah.
But there isn't a real bad answer.
Apricot.
Well, that's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, apricot jam on its own's not bad, but you can't do it with peanut butter. No, you can't do it. But like even grape jelly, I'll take the grape. Right, because sometimes when you go to the restaurants and they've got in those little cartons, there's the peanut butter and then there's the strawberry and the raspberry. But Connor and I have worked together, 8 years. I Think so?
6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up on 8, maybe.
15 years. I don't
Eric.
think I would have hired him if I knew. Like that might have been like that. It's a good thing it wasn't on your resume. Don't like peanut butter and jam.
Legally, can you hire somebody?
No, I'm not sure you can.
That
Like,
out
I
to
might
lunch.
have. Yeah, exactly. Clearly, I didn't do enough good proper research.
Our first meeting, Gregor, was at an establishment, and you got chicken gyoza.
Gyoza?
That, I had never had that either, but I just politely had some for like the next month. Whenever I went out, I ordered it.
Oh,
It was,
damn.
very good. So yeah,
I introduced you to things that never before. Had I known, I would have got you a peanut butter and jam sandwich on toast, and you would have been like, "This is delicious." I think I'm going to bring in a toaster.
I was going to
next
say,
week.
would you try
I think I'm
one?
going to bring a toaster in. I'll even put it on sourdough bread. My wife's now making sourdough bread. It's unbelievable, by the way.
I throw this out to listeners. Do you have anything that you refuse to do that normal people do regularly, like eat PB&J? Have you drawn the line somewhere bizarre like Connor?
Like, I've never had a cup of coffee, but like coffee isn't great compared to peanut butter and jam. Like peanut butter and jam might be the top
okay.
five.
There are like establishments developed to rate to coffee.
No, but peanut butter and jam is like a staple that 90% of kids have.
Coffee too. You're looking a bit like a serial killer.
Not many kids have coffee.
Well, not children, but
No,
adults.
that's my point, though. Like to skip over peanut butter and jam is very different than skipping over coffee because peanut butter and jam is everywhere for children, unless you have a nut allergy.
I remember the first time I had coffee. I didn't have any in university. It
Yeah,
wasn't
see,
until I
there
got
you
a real job.
So you never had it as a child.
Second week of the real job, Monday morning, Gregor, the adrenaline had worn off. And I said to my coworker, we have to do this for how many more years until we retire? How do we do it? And he said, come with me. He took me down the hallway and gave me a cup of coffee. And then away we went.
There you go. Now Dylan's got a good he's got good taste buds. Peanut butter and jam toast with a glass of milk is next level.
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's what, like, when Declan was eating his sandwich yesterday, I'm like, don't you want a glass of milk? And he said, no, maybe water. But to me, like, that combination would go great with the milk.
Now, have you guys ever had, speaking of open-faced toast? Now, this is anybody out there, if you want to try something new and you want to have, as Struddy would say, a bouquet of flavors, you go and get some toast, put a light layer of butter, so right out of the toaster, so it just melts in.
Okay.
Then you put on brown sugar and cinnamon.
Oh, yeah.
It is unbelievable.
Cinnamon toast.
Yeah. Unreal.
That was something I did have a lot of growing up.
It's very good. Hey, guys, try a grilled PB&J. It's a game changer. Ooh. Like in one of those sandwich makers? Ooh, now, toast and strawberry jam with cheddar cheese on top. What? Dallas the Farmer. Now, I like all of those. I'm not sure I like the combination, but I'm not going to say no yet. I'd have to try a bite of it because I do love cottage cheese. No salt added cottage cheese, by the way.
Cottage cheese.
Yeah. You don't know what cottage cheese is?
No, I know what it is. That's not what I thought he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Cottage cheese. Oh, sorry. No, cheddar cheese.
Now, there we go.
Oh, cheddar
cheese.
Cheddar cheese? Well, that might be debatable.
But you're over there.
Cottage
Cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese, I could kind of think, but cheddar cheese. Well, again, I'm not going to knock it because I love cheese. So I tried. Hey, boys, you haven't lived till you've had peanut butter and Nutella. Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on toast. Oh, well, except Connor. He's probably never had it. You don't like
True.
to. You've never had Nutella.
Oh, no, I've had Nutella, but not on
and
toast.
peanut butter not together. God, this is a real disappointing Friday right now.
I didn't have Nutella until much later in life, I'll be honest.
Me too. I never had it as a kid. We weren't rich enough to have
We weren't
Nutella.
allowed.
No.
We ate flour and water in a
Mhm,
paste.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But-
we never had Nutella. Like, there was only the rich kids who had Nutella in the 90s and the 80s for sure. And you know who you are right now.
Peanut butter and Nutella, though, on a single piece of toast,
Yeah.
makes me know I made it
Mm-hmm. It is very good.
in this life.
Very good. Hey, guys, I have a friend who has never and refuses to put ketchup on KD. Who has never tried ketchup and KD from Kyler? Now, there's another pretty good. Connor, you've never tried that?
Oh,
Adam?
I love it.
Oh,
I love
okay.
it.
I thought
Throw
you-
some pepper, maybe some chili flakes in there for a little kick. Oh, yeah.
Man, I went like probably a good decade without eating KD. And then my son at about 8 got into it. So now it's just like, you know, and anytime there's leftovers, I'm just like scooping on in. And he's like, Dad, why aren't you leaving that for me? Suck it up, Buttercup. Having it for me. Oh, I love it.
I'd say Connor Halley hasn't had a peanut butter and jam sandwich, son.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are struggling all over.
That is, it's flabbergasted. Anyway, let's get to 5 questions now. Brought to you by The Brick. I'll tell you right now, The Brick, they make peanut butter and jam sandwiches guaranteed. Everybody at The Brick has had a peanut butter and jam sandwich without question. And without question right now, great sales this weekend. 60% off mattresses. Over $550 off select TVs. Stop in at The Brick. Go online at thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, got to run through this quick. We're halfway through the Oilers preseason. Fill in the blank. Of the players remaining in camp, blank has the most to gain here.
I don't know that there's necessarily anybody with much to gain. I think there's people who are looking to build reps. I like the Troy Stetcher interview.
Most to gain. It's a good question. I'm going to say Pod Colson. I know he's on the roster, but maybe he can slide himself up the roster.
Question number 2. TSN's annual rank the top 50 players out. Sidney Crosby coming in at 14. Would you agree that's an appropriate spot for Sid the Kid?
I think he's got a lot left in the tank. I think that's appropriate. They're these young guns that have clearly passed old Sid, but I think he still has a lot to offer.
You know what? If you look at, he had 94 points last year, and he was 12th in league scoring. So if you drop him a bit due to age, I can get behind that. I don't have a problem with 14.
Question number 3. Christine Sinclair going to retire from professional soccer at the end of this season, November 1st. Final game. So when you think of the GOAT of female Canadian athletes, who's yours?
I'd pick Christine Sinclair.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, Brooke Henderson's still very young in her career. So when her career's over, she'll probably give her a run.
Shout out to Karen Percy Lowe.
Yeah, she had a really good career. Lori Kane had a really good career. Kia Nurse, when her career's over, pretty darn good. But yeah, I would probably, Christine Sinclair, because she dominated. She's the all-time leading scorer in the world. So yeah, it's hard to beat her.
Throwing Clara Hughes in there. Olympic and Summer Olympic.
No, she was pretty good.
Question number 4. Elks tonight, 5-point underdogs when they take on the Bombers. That's from playalberta.ca, of course, and the over-under 49.5. What is the smart bet tonight?
Ooh. Probably the under would be the safest one. Like, the Bombers don't give up a ton of points. So, and the Elks, for the most part, don't give up a ton of points either. So, you know me, I loathe to do the under, but I would probably go with the under and the Bombers, the points.
I'm not going to disagree with all that Jason Gregor logic. I'll take the under 2. Thomas?
All right, final question. Gregor, when you were gone and Declan did these questions, his 5th question was always a Mount Rushmore.
All right.
And after yesterday seeing him eat that sandwich and the discussion that ensued, my question for you both, what is on your Mount Rushmore of sandwiches?
Got to go BLT.
Well, I know what's not on Connor's. Anyway, go ahead.
BLT.
Okay.
I'll go off grid. You ever have a croque madame?
Pardon?
A croque madame is like a sourdough, fried egg, cheese sauce, ham. I defy you to eat a croque madame or a croque monsieur, its husband, and not be delicious.
Okay.
Also throw a Reuben in there.
Bronte?
Yeah.
All right. I would go Clubhouse for sure. I am going a grilled cheese sandwich. Guaranteed.
Classic.
I will throw in, definitely I'm going peanut butter and jam. Like, hello. It's an unbelievable sandwich. It's on there. And
what jam?
Raspberry.
Okay.
And my last, what would be my next one? You know what? For me, I love a good egg sandwich.
What other toppings? Just fried egg sandwich?
No, not fried egg. No. You're like, when when you hard boil the egg and then you mix up hard boiled egg.
Oh, yeah. Egg salad.
Egg salad. Yeah. Egg salad sandwich. But I like a little bit of celery in it. Actually, pickles are probably the best. But I would go with celery and not too much mustard because a mayo. Too much mayo ruins any sandwich. It's got to be the right amount of mayo. I don't want a soggy sandwich. Cons?
Grilled cheese, of course. Pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, good one.
Fried chicken sandwich. And my final will be French dip with a side of au jus.
I used to love the French. But you know what? French dip is you can either hit a home run or, man, you're striking out at some places. Like they got way too much bun and there's not a lot of meat in it. And then the au jus is very important.
But the au jus is like a hidden side soup. You have like a third dish.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice touch.
You probably used to drink the au jus,
if there's a little left. Go to Teddy's. You ever go to Teddy's for a...
You know what? I have on Jasper app.
Yeah.
Have you? Is it good?
Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a place. Like, how many people out there being at Teddy's? I've driven by that place. I don't know how many times in my life. Like literally, probably 1,000. No joke. How many times have probably just going on the rocks? Never mind just being downtown, going other places. I've always driven by it and I'm like, wonder what's in there, because you can't see, right? Like there doesn't look like there's any windows.
It's a fortress.
It's very mysterious, but it's good.
It's delicious. They have great Reubens.
Ooh, all right.
Great smoked meat sandwiches.
Okay.
You like a Montreal smoked meat?
I like a good smoked meat sandwich. Yeah.
Teddy's,
eh?
So I would drink the au jus.
And so it's still good now.
Yeah.
Teddy's.
It's about 50 VLTs if you're in the market to win some money.
No, I'm not. You know what? Things I've never done, VLT. Never played a VLT, man.
You won't like Teddy's.
Well, why? I'm there for the food. I don't have to play VLT. I go to On the Rocks all the time. They have VLTs. I've never played one.
You ever go to Mort's in Red Deer and you could play the VLTs on the dance floor?
I did go to Mort's, yes.
Win money while you're dancing?
Mm-hmm. Remember when they had the two big, massive bars in Red Deer?
Don't even get me started.
Mort's and Esmer. Was it Ezzy's?
It was the original Ezzy's, wasn't it?
Oof, it's an unbelievable place. We're dating ourselves here, but that's okay. It was amazing.
Bars 1440.
Let's get to Connor Halley, who doesn't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Other than that, he's a really good dude. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Maybe we have to ask them at Booster Juice to make a peanut butter and jelly flavored Booster Juice. Now we could be on to something. Might have to talk to Jimmy. They have some secret menus. Maybe we'll slide it in there. Only right now at Booster Juice.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Edmonton Elks in action, taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Kickoff just over an hour away out in the Peg. Later tonight, BC hosting Hamilton. From the NHL, the LA Kings are announcing defenseman Drew Doughty will undergo surgery to repair a fractured ankle. He is considered month to month. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays hosting the Marlins. First pitch, 5:07. These two teams will do it again over the weekend. You can hear both those games on the radio feed of Sports 1440 to wrap up the season. Right now, nationally, the Phillies 3-0. White Sox Tigers scoreless in the second. Earlier today, the Cubs got past the Reds 1-0. At the President's Cup yesterday was all the United States winning 5 matches to none. Today, the international squad bounces back, doing the same. They're tied at 5 apiece heading into the weekend in Montreal. College football time, Miami up against Virginia Tech. That'll start at 5:30. Then at 6 o'clock, Rutgers will host Washington. Local action, number 9 ranked Alberta Golden Bears football in Saskatchewan taking on the Huskies. That will go at 7 o'clock tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. You've got the Golden Bears soccer team taking on Saskatchewan and then Regina. 2:15 kickoff for both those games. The Pandas also in action taking on Lethbridge and Saskatchewan in both those games noon at Foot Field. And tomorrow down at Jasper Place Bowl, the Huskies will host the Wildcats. That one will start at 7 o'clock. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Booster Juice has a secret. It's a secret menu of secret smoothies you can only see on the Booster Rewards app. Oh, wait. Guess it's not a secret anymore. Visit any Booster Juice and ask for the Ocean's Tide, the Berry Bloom, the Raspberry Rapture, the Strawberry Dip, or the Go Mango. Made with mangoes, pineapple, and yogurt. The Secrets app. Tell anyone you want. Find the exclusive secret smoothie menu on the Booster Rewards app and sneak into a Booster Juice near you.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like jobs the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
It's wall-to-wall savings at the Brick, where you can find deals for every room in every department. Take up to $540 off sectionals and find other amazing savings on all the essentials for your home. like up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off dining and bedroom furniture. Plus, don't forget about your kitchen. And buy more, save more, up to an additional $300 off select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The Junior Prospects Hockey League is entering its third season of gameplay. The JPHL now offers academic and athletic opportunities in the 14U, 15, 17, and 18U age divisions. All JPHL games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV with a showcase-style game schedule and high level of travel and accommodations for its team, staff, and players. To learn more about why the JPHL is the fastest-growing elite hockey academy stream in Western Canada, visit juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these fine folks from the swift completion of their appointed work, or something like that. They're the fine folks at GS Construction, and they do like to do their job, which could be infrastructure rehabilitation, water and drainage solutions, land development, general contracting, and dedicated maintenance and emergency repairs. Interested in working for such a fine outfit? GS Construction is always on the lookout for great workers. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Got suspended for the last hour for not eating peanut butter and jam. No, we're kidding. Cons is he's off to he's hosting the viewing party tonight for the Elks. So
that's a legitimate reason.
Yep, it's all right. Well, we're gonna have to find out where he's because he didn't tell us where he's hosting. Because maybe we'll order him a peanut butter and jam sandwich. Ali asks us, "Hey guys, do you put butter on the peanut butter and jam sandwich?" No, double butter. That's almost as bad as never eating peanut butter and jam sandwich. No chance. I like butter, but not like just like peanut butter jam. No chance you put the butter on it. Gross.
One time I went to the buffet with my grandpa. I think we were at the horse races, and I took what I thought was a dish of ice cream. It was butter, Gregor. I got a little tiny bowl of butter and took a bite. I was horrified to find out it wasn't ice cream.
Oh,
You ever make a mistake like that with food?
Yeah, once. I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought it was a different dip, and then I put it in, and it was mayonnaise. So, like a big glob of mayonnaise in your mouth, it's not good.
I was eating cherries about 2 years ago, and it was dark in the room, and I was watching TV. I'm eating these cherries. I'm like, every other cherry's disgusting. Maybe I don't like cherries. And then I eat one, it'd be good. Then I eat one, it was gross. And then I turned the light on, and they were moldy. And like half the cherries had fuzz on them, Gregor. And I was like, oh, that's why every other cherry was gross.
That's disgusting.
They were rancid. And it was brand new. I got them that day.
Yikes. Let's that's absolutely awful.
Didn't throw up.
No, well, that's good. Iron lung, right? Or iron gut, I should say.
All
Not
that
iron
drinking.
Lung. Yeah, exactly. Right. All that drinking paid off for you that night. That's good. Let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. You might see him on the LRT West project right now on 104th. The movement, upgrading and repairing underground infrastructure to make way for the future LRT. Step one to get to the next step. GS Construction. This is Mark Spector joins us. Spec, please tell me you've had a peanut butter and jam sandwich in your life.
Oh my God. Like yesterday. Oh yeah. I'm 50, almost 59 years old. I could eat a peanut butter and jam sandwich every day if I wasn't trying not to eat a bunch of bread and sugary stuff.
No. I love it. It's great. The Edmonton Oilers, now it looks like because there was not even a pregame skate when they were playing their first 4 preseason games. I don't put much stock in them, to be honest. But these final 4 games, obviously they can't be giving up 6 goals every night. That's not going to help. But I wasn't at practice today because I was watching my son in his cross country race. God, I love cross country races. By the way, they're so fun to watch. And there's like 100 kids. You should have seen the start line, man. It was just. Like they're jostling. I was like, are we in a 1500 meter at the Olympics here? Like they were jostling, and actually they went around this one corner. It's a very hilly race at I think it's Highgrove School. It's called in St. Albert. I haven't lived there long enough. I don't know, but I think that's what it's called. Anyway, like there's a pretty hilly course, and they went down, and some girl got wiped out, and whew, it was pretty big wipeout. So it was pandemonium, man. There's lots of kids in each grade, about 100 in each grade for from 4, 5, and 6, and they were wheeling around. It was great. So
sounds like fun and good for kids to be out running in a day like today, right?
Love it. So did you get a sense at all on who you think? Like I know Knobloch said it many times. He wants most guys to play 4 games, so that means McDavid and Draisaitl are going to play 3 of 4. Is it too captain obvious to think they're going to play Saturday and then Wednesday, Friday?
Yeah, I mean. Probably. I think that is captain obvious, but there's always, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and predict exactly which games they'll play. I sense that the top 6 plays tomorrow night and then 2 of the last 3. I doubt that all those guys are playing the last 3 in a row. But what I do sense, and actually I wrote to this topic today on sportsnet.ca, I really sense it's the part of camp, the phase of camp where guys get games and we look at guys and we give this guy a look because we drafted him and all that stuff. That part's over, right? There's still 38 healthy people at camp, but some of them aren't going to get another game. A guy like Sam O'Reilly, he's going to get another game. He's a young, important first-round pick, and he's earned another game. He'll get one. But I'm here to tell you, a team that vowed they're not starting out as bad this season as they did last, Jason, we've hit the part in camp now where they put their money where their mouth is.
Oh yeah, and like a lot of other teams, they're going to have to do it. The LA Kings, the bad news became official today. Drew Doughty, month to month, which is minimum 2 months when you got a fractured ankle, is everybody I'm telling you probably longer. So he might not be out. He might not be back until January. That might put LA in a situation where they're out of the top 3 race in the Pacific, and now they're a wild card team.
Yeah, that's fair. And to be honest, LA, I mean, they're changing their whole style this year, right? That whole 1-3-1 thing. And they were, the head coach today in LA was asked if losing Doughty, maybe do you go back to the 1-3-1? He said, no chance. We're not doing that. So
no.
This is a team undergoing a complete personality change. They're in a division with Edmonton, who's better than they are. They're in a division with Vancouver, who's every bit as good or better than they are. They're in a division with Vegas, who's right neck and neck with them. So to me, calling the Kings a wild card team isn't a giant insult. I'm not sure they were ever much more than that. And now that they lost Doughty long term, I'm here to tell you that's probably what they are, aren't they?
Yeah, possibly. I'm very curious about how they're going to approach this season, changing their style, and just how much it's potentially going to help their team. Guys like Fiala and Moore and Byfield, and the fact that they're not going to be, sitting back as much.
Yeah,
like
good.
Campay specifically, like maybe LA surprises us all, but I'm curious because I think it's a significant change for them based just on their style alone.
Oh, it's a giant change, and it's a mindset. It's a, go out on the ice pushing for offense as opposed to go on the ice playing on your heels, right? It's a whole attitude change, man. Listen, I've been a guy, I covered 2 of their cups all the way through, and I wrote even when they were winning that Daryl Sutter's 1-3-1 and that style, I hated it. I hated it then. I hated it when the Oilers were beating them. I hated that style when it won cups, and I hated it when it wasn't good enough to beat Edmonton 3 years in a row. That's bad for hockey. It's like Jacques Lemaire, man. Great guy. Worst coach the league's ever seen because he took the product and stomped it under his boot until you couldn't recognize it anymore, right? Love Jacques Lemaire. Absolutely hated the way he coached hockey. And I'm here to tell you, man, I don't care whether you're winning or losing. When you take a beautiful game like hockey and do to it what the Kings have done to it for the last few years, you deserve everything you get.
Nice. What about the Elks tonight, Spec? What are you expecting from them in Winnipeg? Can they go in and upset the Bombers?
No. You think they can?
Well, no, I don't.
But you asked.
I asked you. I thought maybe, give them a chance. Like, there's a chance, I guess, maybe, but I don't. I would be surprised. I think the Bombers are just rolling. We had Doug Brown, and their defense is just really good right now. Yep. So, I know Edmonton, they'll say, hey, they got great offensive numbers, and they have. They've really, like, their running game, it's amazing their first 7 games, their last 7 games. Eddie Steele didn't believe me when I told him they were like 320 rushing yards in the first 7 games, 1,200 in the last 7 games. Like, It's a stunning turnaround, no question. They're going to have to run the ball successfully again tonight, I think, to have success. And because we heard from Doug Brown, and he said with Bethel Thompson, they're not going to have to spy. Their defense is going to bring more pressure tonight, so we'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, that's how they play Bethel Thompson, is you blitz him because he doesn't move. You make him think fast and hope you get enough coverage on him that he makes the wrong decision once in a while. I have been thinking about this whole Ford Bethel Thompson thing, and I think I got the answer here on this, Jason.
Okay.
I'm told now that the GM and the coach are both, their contracts are up after this year, correct? Neither guy's got a contract for next year.
Yes.
That's what I understand.
Yes.
So we're asking those guys to take some lumps for the future and play Trey Ford and maybe lose a game or two, but do something for the future of the franchise when they don't necessarily have any future here, right? They're game to game. Like, they're done at the end of the season at this point. So I get it. If I'm Jarius Jackson or G. Simon, I could care less about next year at Edmonton until someone gives me a contract to work next year at Edmonton. So if I'm that guy in that contract position, I'm probably starting Bethel Thompson tonight all day long. I am starting him all day long because he gives me a better chance to win right now. If I'm a guy that's going to be here, I start Trey Ford because he's my quarterback of the future. What do you think?
Well, a few things. If that was the case, then why did they start Trey Ford last weekend? That would be my number one. Number two, in the last 2 years, Trey Ford is a starter. The Elks are 6-7. Anybody else is a starter, they're 3-16. So I don't necessarily buy this whole, well, they have a better chance to win with Bethel Thompson. Like, I don't really I think people are looking at 2 Calgary games against a team that's terrible as well. That's the barometer now for success. So there's really nothing in Trey Ford and Bethel Thompson that says Bethel Thompson gives you a better chance to win. The stats just don't really back it up.
Well, that's fair, but I know this, football people like Bethel Thompson. I would tell you that his receiving core would probably rather have Bethel Thompson throw them the ball, especially against this Winnipeg defense. I would say to you that the Winnipeg defense thoroughly confused and befuddled Trey Ford last weekend.
Yeah, for one game, I agree. But I think people are overreacting to one game. Other defenses hadn't done it. And the thing is, Trey Ford actually completes more balls, and he's completed for a longer pass per completion, yards per completion average than Bethel Thompson. He's actually thrown the ball downfield more successfully.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm just here to tell you that the coach, I would say to you that that's what's going on here. Put it that way. I get how investing in the Elks' future isn't top priority for Jarius Jackson and G. Simon. And frankly, if head coaches are paid to win and they get fired if they don't win, if he thinks Jackson's the guy, then he's going to play him. And if we're here saying Ford's the guy and you got to let him suffer some lumps so he'll be better next year and in the future, I can see how he could care less about the future in Edmonton at this point.
Yeah, well, it's a fair point to look at it that way. Then to me, it illustrates that there's still dysfunction in the organization then. Because I would come in at the owner and say, hey, guys, if you want a chance to stay here, this is what we're going to do. Right? Because to me, and especially when the results with Ford and Bethel Thompson, like I'm fascinated tonight. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bethel Thompson goes in there and plays great. But I look at this, the only way this is the good decision is if they make the playoffs. Not just win the game. They have to make the playoffs. Otherwise, it's a waste. And all you've done now is wasted another month and 4 more starts of Trey Ford not playing. And you'll go into next season and what? Now you're going to have a 37-year-old as your starting quarterback?
Hey, bud, I'm on Team Ford here. Like I'm on Bethel Thompson. I know what he is. I know what he's got. He's old. He's slow. He sits in the pocket. He won't be better next year than he is this year. I guarantee you that at his age, whereas Trey Ford will. So I said in Monday, these guys are crazy. They got to play Ford. I'm just telling you why I understand now why they're not playing Ford. And, is there dysfunction in the organization? Sure there is. Is Jarius Jackson not an interim head coach?
Yeah, they're both interims.
Okay, so they're both interims. So, that's how much, like, either A, they're not dedicated. The Elks aren't dedicated to these guys. And if they got better people out there, that's fine. But if they're thinking that they are dedicated to these guys, and I kind of like Jarius Jackson, and I don't mind Geroy Simon at this point, I'm not sure why they don't sign these guys and get a little stability in this organization here.
Spec, earlier in the show today, we had one of only 5 players from Edmonton who've ever pitched in the major leagues. Of course, wow. Eric Zambrowski, who's pitching right now for the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
He has 16 Ks in his 11.1 innings. Has only allowed, I think it's 2, maybe 3 runs. Has done very well. Had 2 Tommy John surgeries almost back to back in 20 and in 19 and then in 21. It's crazy. And and he comes into Cleveland like a good team.
Yep.
And now they're going to go to the playoffs. So when you think about how many guys have played ball locally, Spec, to be only 5 to ever get to the major leagues of baseball. Mike Johnson, of course, has played the most games thus far. But I'm telling you, like, and you look at the gas he throws with, and you know what? If he can just stay healthy here, he might have a chance to pass Johnson for most games played.
Okay, wait a sec. So there's Johnson, there's Shippenoff. Who are the other guys?
The other guys are Rob Zastanese, and he's currently in the majors playing for Milwaukee. He was actually in the majors from 16 to 18, and then he was out of the league for 3 years. Part of it is COVID. And now he's been back in up and down for 2022 until 2024.
He's
and then
an Edmonton guy.
Yeah, he's an Edmonton guy. The first one, Spec, well, yeah, no, you were probably, just before you were born. Vince Barton was playing for the Chicago Cubs in 1931 and 32.
Just before I was born. Okay, and the other guy is Shippenoff?
Yeah, Shippenoff played 26 games in 85 for Philly.
Was it Dave Shippenoff?
Yeah, Dave Shippenoff.
Yeah. I played ball with his little brother Tim at one point.
Yeah, and so Vince Barton is actually the only position player ever from the Edmonton area. So yeah, we're coming up on almost 100 years, 1931-32 when he played. The rest are all pitchers, Shippenoff and Johnson, and the 2 guys that are currently in the league right now. So it's you know what? It's hard, man, to get into major leagues of baseball. And for Zabrowski to do what he's doing right now, it's pretty awesome.
It's really, really hard. The best guy we ever had in my era around here was a fella named Len Ney. And he got into AA ball in the Expos chain, and he was so far and away the best ball player in the city in his day, and he never got past AA ball. So there you go. Gordy Gerlach was around here. He was from northern Alberta. He took some runs at it, but he wasn't a big league player. It's hard. It's a long way, man.
Yeah, I worked with a guy, Paul Krasinga. Ronaldo was his nickname. And he could throw like 90, 92 miles an hour. Okay. We used to have snowball fights at work, and it was an absolute joke. Like he'd hit you with I've never been hit with a snowball that hurt like that. Now the good news was when he pitched, he actually got thrown out of a game once because he beamed the umpire on purpose. But he was pretty wild, and he just told his catcher he's mad at the call. He just told his catcher he's coming a high heater and let it go. And
let it go. Yeah, I was gonna say that's usually the catcher's fault, not the.
Yeah, but he called it, And but anyway, he was a little erratic, but oh my God, he could throw gas. And so, but I could chirp him and then he wouldn't hit me. But there's a few times, like honestly, 90, like I never played ball, but 90 miles an hour is such a different level.
Oh.
I don't know how they hit it, but I'm telling you, you get hit by even a snow from a guy who can throw that hard. It was disgustingly painful.
It's and just because you're blessed, the good Lord gives you that arm, that doesn't get you there.
No,
right? There's so much more to it. There's much. There's all kinds of guys out there throwing 90 that we'll never hear of because they never get past single A ball because they're nuclear louche, right? They got no head or they can't throw a strike or they whatever. So I'm can't wait for the playoffs to start. I can't wait to see Eric pitching for Cleveland in a playoff game. I think that's like never before have I awaited a middle reliever the way I await this guy in a Cleveland game.
If he gets in, I think he'd be the first one in the playoffs, actually. So that'd be pretty sweet.
First one in the playoffs. Okay. It's awesome, man. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on the mounds and infields and outfields of Edmonton ball over the years. And I played on every one of those diamonds, man. For someone to come out, he's playing for everybody. Like he's playing for hundreds of losers like me that played and pitched and played in the Sunburst League. And, I see this, there's still a league kicking around, the Paul Riopels, who ran the North Central League for 100 years. We all look down at a guy like him pitching on a big league mound and go, man, way to go, pal. Way to go.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Like I just could, his buddies and everybody, watching playoffs is exciting enough. To watch the playoffs with somebody it's got to be a different level for sure. And especially because baseball playoffs, like every pitch matters. That's why I like baseball playoffs a lot because it can change all the time. One big hit, I get it all. And every pitch, like you're a pitcher in the game, like you're so heavily involved in the game, right? Like sometimes you can be a third baseman, they're 6 innings in and they haven't even hit a ball to you, right? Whereas you're the pitcher, you're involved in every play.
Hey, the drama of playoff baseball is as much as baseball could be meaningless in a 162 game season, and as many times as you can go to a ball game in June or July and go, did it really matter what happened here? It completely turns around when you've played 162 games and now you're in like a 5-game series, right?
Yeah.
Now you're in a situation where it's 9 innings. You played for 6 months, 162 games. Now it's a series tied at 3. We're playing a game 7 and someone's going home. Every pitch matters. Every ground ball matters. Playoff ball is in its own way, right? It's got its own drama. It's completely unique from all the other sports.
Spec, have a great weekend. We will chat with you on Tuesday. We're off for Truth and Reconciliation on Monday. So have a great weekend.
All right, you too, Jay.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We've had a lot of people texting in on mistaken food. People eating a lot of calamari thinking it was onion rings. That's a big, I could see that. And that's a big shock because those two now, I don't like onion rings. That's not true. I tried to bite once, but I can imagine they're very different from calamari to an onion ring.
I had a question about your snowball fight.
Yeah.
Where are you working where you're snowball fighting with your fellow employees? Candy Cane Lane and Gumdrop Avenue? Like, what are you doing?
I used to work at Nisku when I was 19, and we used to make cedar shakes for you know what a cedar shake is?
Yeah, like a shingle.
Shingle, yeah.
So how does that lead to snowball fighting?
Well, so you're inside, and then you're moving around, and sometimes you're waiting, you had no wood or whatever, we'd go out there on a coffee break or something. Yeah, wintertime, snowball fight.
Sometimes you're in there and you're moving around, and then you have a snowball fight. What?
Yeah. We actually also used to play because the one guy up at the top, and he would put the wood through it, and then it would be cutting it, right? And then you had to pack the shakes at the bottom. And so Ronaldo and I would stand there, and we used to play this game where you just have to name the league, a team, and a number of the player. The guy had to get, and if he didn't get it, and then the punishment was the guy get to take one of the shingles and just hammer you with it. So, needless to say, he didn't win. We'll take a quick break. We'll return Low Tide. That would be a good game to play against Low Tide. That would be a challenge. It would be a very good challenge. We'll return the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca and Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Sipping gin and juice, just trying to stay cool. When I'm sweating buckets bigger than a swimming pool. Cruise to Heritage Mall to enjoy some AC. Then my shorty hears the homies from Legacy. I say, listen, yo, where we gonna get the dough to pay Legacy from the radio? He says Legacy Heating's got a deal that's the bomb with no interest or payments flipping all year long. No money, no problems. That's the life that I choose. Chillaxing with thousands of BTU. Doing whatever the heck that was. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Some things just work together. Sticks and pucks, cleats and AstroTurf. Your love for the game and Papa John's passion for better ingredients. Better pizza. Nothing pairs with the game like Papa John's. Crafted with signature sauce, toppings, and original fresh dough. They're the champion of pizza. And now you're the champion of winning deals. Just order at papajohns.ca. Use promo code SPORTS20 and score 20% off any regular menu price order. Better ingredients. Better pizza. Papa John's. That's SPORTS20.
Michelle and Colette are sisters. Sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's #1.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Harris Wiener. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
it might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Pick up some Wilhawk beef jerky today because you don't win friends with salad.
Need to make more money? Own a franchise and control your future. Come to the Franchise Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Edmonton Expo Center to meet with the hottest franchises. Get valuable advice at free seminars and learn how you can open a successful business. This is your only chance to see all your best money-making opportunities in one place. Find the perfect business for you at Edmonton's only franchise show this weekend at the Edmonton Expo Center. Get tickets at edmontonfranchiseshow.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca is your partner.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.30 positive Friday. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Big shout out to those watching live on YouTube and Oilers Nation Facebook and X and Instagram. Hope you're having an awesome day. Big weekend in sports, baby. Final weekend for Major League Baseball, which could be extended into Monday. Most likely will be extended into Monday when the Mets and Braves have to play a doubleheader. So they don't have to play Sunday, then a doubleheader Monday, and then play in the playoffs on Tuesday. Yikes. not ideal. Although in baseball, it's probably the one sport they play, 10 game days in a row all the time. So, but you'd prefer not to, especially when it's in 3 different time zones. Usually you're not doing that. You'll play like 3 games or 4 in one city, then 3 in another city. So it's a little bit easier. Let's go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical, where they remind you, take action on your savings. Solar, it's a great way to go. It's a great option. If you want to learn more, go to actionelectrical.net. As Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown, noon to 2 on Sports 1440, joins us. LT, how you doing?
Very well, sir. How about you?
I'm great. You had peanut butter and jam. You were allowed to have peanut butter and jam as a child?
Oh, yes. To this day, I have a absolute love for peanut butter and jam too, but definitely peanut butter.
What would you do with a guy like Connor Halley on the staff, LT, who's never lived like this? Do you send him away on an oil, like a ice flow? Or do you make him eat the sandwich tomorrow on Monday or Tuesday rather, or he can't work here anymore? What would you do?
Infliction of pain seems the best idea.
Sure.
In the old days, people used to, if somebody said something that was like, offensive, sometimes you'd like put out your cigarette on their arm or something. That might be something to think about.
Gregor was explaining making cedar shakes, and apparently if you got a moment to spare, you'd hit the other guy at the cedar shake. I'm wondering if Connor Halley couldn't use a good cedar shake to the head, Gregor.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
On the farm, they scald pigs, and that's another thing we could do with them too. That would work.
Good scalding.
Ooh. Al, we had Troy Stetcher. I'm not sure. We had an interview with Troy Stetcher last hour, and he's got a little edge to him. I really liked it. It was very honest and depicting how he can play and what his skill set is and why things. He played lots of minutes on other teams, and he said, "Hey, I've never played on a team like this. Of course, this good." Ultimately, we really haven't because Nurse hasn't played. Who do you think? Is it automatically Emberson? Because I think people might be sleeping on the Stetcher Nurse. They did play together last year for a bit. Stetcher has way more experience. I think he's got to at least get a game in those final 2. Maybe one's Emberson, one's Stetcher. What do you think?
Well, I think, in all honesty, I think Stetcher's skill set may line up better with Nurse than Emberson. Emberson is I like him. I like the way he plays defense. He can defend, which is a big damn deal, but he can box out and he can win battles and he knows what he's doing. He's aware of what the play is supposed to look like, and he can close gaps. There's a lot to like about him. But Stetcher can move the puck, and he's not a shy violet. He can step in, and he has the thing that I love about Stetcher is he has more experience than anybody thinks he does, because he's played a lot and he's been effective, not in every year because he had the concussion and it took him a while to come back. But I've always felt that they might have a sleeping giant here, because when he got back after the concussion, it sometimes takes a while, but I think he's in terms of physically being able to play and think the game, he's back to where he was, and he has had some good years in the NHL.
Yeah, he's been a very solid player, really solid player. And now I can see if there's some concern if he's in your second pair in the playoffs. I think it's valid because size does matter for defensemen come playoff time, at least in recent memory. But up until the trade deadline, I'd have no issue. And I think they're going to try guys like Emberson's going to get a look there. I think Stetcher's going to get I think Brown at best is a third pair defenseman. I don't see him moving up into your second pair whatsoever. What about the forwards, Al? Is there anything you're looking at? I've seen some people suggesting there's the bottom 6 should be rejigged. I'm not really sure why. They haven't even seen them. That line was very good in the playoffs. And anything that Connor Brown did in the regular season last year, I don't think should really be considered as an equivalent for this coming season, considering he's healthy.
Yeah, I wrote about Brown at The Athletic today, and a point that I made that you originally had mentioned it on the radio, and it always stuck with me, was, and I remember it because you said it, and the people were all over you, and I wondered why. But you said Connor Brown was like a trade deadline addition because he was a much more productive player. By mid-March, he was being productive. And he scored at 5-on-5, Jason. He scored at 2.3 points per 60 at 5-on-5, which is a really good number. And if you look at his history, when he's played in a role with a good centerman, he's been able to deliver offense. I think he's a guy that I know people somehow don't equate Janmark with speed or being able to contribute to an offensive situation in terms of a pass from the boards or whatever. But Henrique is a different cat, and he was only here for a while, but he played well for the Oilers. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing that line. The only concern I have on the bottom six is, and I think everybody has it, is that Derek Ryan's a really smart player, and Corey Perry is a Hall of Famer, but the foot speed is a concern. Now, but Colson adds to that, but I think a guy like Noah Philp, and I know that you mentioned O'Reilly. I'm not saying he's going to make the team, but I think that if they can find a way, Jason, to get Philp here or a right-handed center with speed, and then maybe play Ryan some at center, some on the wing, and spell Perry and get them all into like 50 games. I'm okay with that because I think there's a lot of experience and a lot of penalty killing ability in that group, and they need that too.
Yeah, I look at. I think Podkolzin skates just fine. I don't have much issue with his skating whatsoever. He's also going to be in the penalty kill, so that's going to keep him in the game. Yesterday, because Raphael Lavoie hasn't killed penalties in the American League, Al, and I think that might be a main reason why he's not on the team. Because how are you going to keep him involved, right? Like, because if he takes Corey Perry's spot, he can't take Corey Perry's spot on the second unit power play as the net front presence. He's never done it, right? So I look at Lavoie, and he might be headed for waivers. If he is and he clears, the first thing I'm doing if I'm Raphael Lavoie, when I clear, I'm going to call up the coach and I'm going to say, hey, I need to be on the penalty kill because it's the only way I can get because you just got to get your foot in the door, right? Maybe an injury happens, then all of a sudden, boom, he's up and he's playing with some shooters and offensive guys, and he can show what he can do. That's great because we all know he can shoot the puck. But to me, that's what has to happen for Raphael Lavoie. Is he has to be someone who looks and says, I got to learn to penalty kill.
Yeah, and we saw that with Warren Fogle. He ended up penalty killing way more after he, expressed interest and, agitated to get the opportunity. The problem Lavoie has is it's not his fault, but he came out of junior and he was a scorer, and so the Oilers have always had somebody to like more, and so the top two lines, especially now, I mean, their top two sets of wingers are really good, and Connor Brown would be the first to move up. So there'd have to be a lot of injuries for Lavoie to get anywhere near it. He's not, he's so much better at bullying players off the puck now. He moves his feet well. He is often on the right side of the play. I don't know if he's going to be able to penalty kill at the NHL level, but as you say, it would be an opportunity for him if he goes to Bakersfield, and I suspect he will, because there's not really an opening, and we're pretty late to have an injury happen. In fact, he's been hurt. So go to Bakersfield, or if you get claimed on waivers, you're never going to be, or at least it appears as though you're not going to be the skill guy that you felt you were coming out of junior. So if you want an NHL career, then you're going to have to learn to do those little things that maybe you should have been doing in the past.
Al, quickly, what's your expectations for the green and gold tonight?
Well, they have to win, Jason. This is like stand and deliver time. I love the story of the Elks this year. They were bad. They couldn't win. There was frustration. I'm convinced a lot of the players on that team were looking at professional extinction. They were going to go home and they were going to find a different career. That's the way it was going to go. Then they got lightning in a bottle, and they've been winning, and it can mean a lot, but they have to win. I thought your point yesterday that I heard about Trey Ford, if you play Trey Ford, then you are trying to win, but you're also thinking about the future. Mm-hmm. I know they're going the other direction. And I think from a coaching staff point of view, they may have made their decision, but it could. I mean, if they miss the playoffs and they're not developing a quarterback, that's a missed opportunity. At the end of the year, when you're evaluating, that has to come into play, because this will be a missed opportunity. Winnipeg's a hell of a football club, and if you've got a mobile quarterback, might be an idea to use them today.
I would agree. Al, have a wonderful weekend. We'll chat with you next week.
All right, boys, be good.
There you go. It's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll return with Wanye's World to wrap up a busy Friday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And get some of your text, 833-401-1440 in our well index, ewel.ca for all your electrical gear.
Booster Juice has a secret. It's a secret menu of secret smoothies you can only see on the Booster Rewards app. Oh, wait. Guess it's not a secret anymore. Visit any Booster Juice and ask for the Raspberry Rapture, the Strawberry Dip, the Ocean's Tide, the Go Mango, or the Berry Bloom. Made with strawberries, raspberries, passion fruit, guava, and vanilla frozen yogurt. The secret's out. Tell anyone you want. Find the exclusive secret smoothie menu on the Booster Rewards app and sneak into a Booster Juice near you.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on Sports 1440. Every weekend, catch all the action with play-by-play announcer Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays, this Saturday and Sunday on Sports 1440. Edmonton's home for all things sports.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving. And now the value is better than ever. Don't miss your chance to pay what Ford employees pay during the factory authorized employee pricing event. You'll see real invoice pricing on all vehicles, like savings up to $16,000 on Super Duty models. It's Ford employee pricing, but only until September 30th, where cars always cost less. Denham Ford in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and the time to think about winterizing your RV is before the snow flies. There's a lot of steps you need to take to winterize your trailer or motorhome.
And you have to get every step right every single time. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob, because if you make even a little mistake, you might not realize it till spring. And by then, it's too late to fix what you got wrong.
Hey, Rick, do you winterize your own trailer?
Not anymore, Bob. I hired people who are smarter than me. Genius technicians who check every component. Dozens of systems to be maintained and protected. And today, we offer that service to you, starting at $99. Every winterization package comes with a full report in writing, so you know what to expect come spring. If you're confident to do it yourself, have at it. If you're like me and you'd rather have this done by somebody who knows what they're doing, then come to Noble, and we'll take care of you.
And that's Noble.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reduce the impact of cancer care before, after, and during your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation. Learn more at Leading Edge Physio.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Hey, rolling through, Gregor. Bonnier Gretz with you. Declan Kruger along for the afternoon as the con man is out getting set for the Elks and the Bombers rematch tonight. Green and gold hoping for a better outcome. They're on the road. Rankin's going to start at running back. Bethel Thompson will be starting at quarterback. No major changes, it sounds like, for the Blue Bombers. Let's get to Wanye's World, brought to you by Action Electrical. And, hey, you need some electrical preventative maintenance? They do it. Solar, they do it. They do a lot, except win at golf. Hey, Buntings, actionelectrical.net.
We were having a laugh at the commercials, Gregor, so I thought we'd just keep it going. You were telling a story earlier about making cedar shakes, and when you would get one, you would smash your coworker with it.
Well, that was only if we won the if you got the
game.
trivia. Yeah.
Sure. Bit of a occupational health and safety violation there. My 2024 brain thinking. Do you remember having jobs when you were younger? Like I worked in a warehouse for a while.
Dude, I never told you the story. I went to Nate when for the very first time I was sitting at home and the commercial came on Global TV. And they would pay you to go to school because there was a whole surge to get safety. So it was health, safety, environment, technology. I went to school, didn't have to pay, and got paid $8 an hour the first year to go to school. And then the next year was $9.50. And then so this is like back in the 90s. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I was like, well, this way I'm going to school. And oh yeah, buddy, the whole safety thing. I had to measure the thread thickness of tires at Sperry Sun. That's how. That was the initial days of the safety inspector.
And then as quickly as you could, you got yourself into sports radio.
Well, no, that was a while later, but I was at Sperry Sun then. Not probably till 5-6 years later.
Really?
Yeah, because then I worked at I worked in the oil field for probably a good 5 years. I'd be in the oil field before doing working on blowout valves and everything like that. But then I went to premium oil field inspection for 5 years.
And then one day, what happened?
No, I couldn't do it
the
anymore.
Clarion call to come to sports.
Yeah, I was.
Didn't you say you were in a bathtub?
Yeah, well, I had to take the duvet off the bed because the guy was snoring. I went in the bathroom and like rolled it up like a sleeping bag, and it was a big bathroom, so I'm under the sink, and I just remember looking up thinking, God. I'm in Killam, Alberta. There's got to be more to this. Like, no offense, Killam, Alberta. Love Killam, Alberta. But I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So at that moment, I was like, I'm going back to school. I've always wanted to do radio, so that's what I did. I called my mom, like, where can I go? And she's like, this is where you go. So away it went.
The first time you went to school was at Nate.
Yeah.
And then you went back to Nate.
Then I went back to Nate. Yeah. Yeah. I got kicked out of the health, safety, environment,
Come on.
technology. Yeah.
What did you do?
I cheated on my test.
What?
Yeah. True story.
Shocking.
Mm-hmm.
A Gregor?
I know.
But your moral compass is so in tune.
Dude, it was I had no interest in the program. Doesn't make it right, don't get me wrong. Right? And I didn't cheat off anybody else.
What's your technique?
Just off
you brought a crib sheet in?
Yeah, I just had a small sheet. Yeah. And the best was the guy who ratted me out was the guy who was cheating.
Hold on. Another student in your class told on you.
Yeah.
And he was cheating.
Yeah, he was cheating off the other. Everybody knew he was cheating off the other guy. I'd been cheating on him all year.
And he just went to the teacher unheralded and snitched on you?
Yeah, he said he's got his cheat sheet when he left the class.
Did you?
But you know what? Looking back on it, was a really good learning experience because I was in the wrong. I was cheating. I can't deny it. Right. So
did you wait for him at the nest to pummel him to death?
No, I didn't find out till later. And I was like, whatever, guy's a clown. And then like many years later, when I got into radio, he sent me a note once, and I'm like, yeah, dude, we're not talking.
It's like your radio origin story started when I snitched on you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you look at things and how it plays out, right? Like it was not. I always don't do stuff that you're not passionate about because then you'll do stupid decisions like I did.
Did you have a tribunal?
No, not really. It was pretty obvious. They asked me why, and I just told them. I said, hey, I hadn't. I don't know why. Something that happened the night before. I was playing, I know, our men's league hockey game or something. I don't know. I can't remember what the reason was, but I hadn't really studied. And I was just like, hey, it was really, and all I had to do was pass. And I probably could have passed anyway. And that was the thing. It was only for 2 questions. That's all. I'd only put 2 answers in I wasn't a great cheater.
How do you cheat at a safety test? Safety equals bad?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Not saying it was right. So.
Well, look at you now.
Mm-hmm. So there's that wasn't good. Why? What about you? Where'd you work in the warehouse?
Oh, we're just working in a warehouse. And all the screws we'd find in the ground, we would hit with golf clubs into the warehouse. And I realized as an adult.
Into like the wall?
Like the appliances. We would just wire screws with a 7-iron, and there's like people working there and stuff. And we're 18, 19. And then if the day was a little bit too hard because maybe you were hungover, we had a secret bed that we'd made on top of a few fridges. You had to talk to the council of people working in the warehouse. If they all agreed you were too hungover, you got to go sleep on top of the fridge.
Wow. Sounds like a little bit shady.
Tip-top organization.
Yeah.
We moved appliances.
Well, anyway, we'll talk next week. We'll be entering the final preseason game next Friday. Joy to the world, everybody. Have a great long weekend. Here's Declan Kruger in a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Jason Gregor Pizza Pig Out. Get your tickets at jasongregorpizzapigout.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And one last time from us today, your Sports 1440 update. Elks in Winnipeg set to take on the Bombers. Kickoff in just over 5 minutes' time here. McLeod Bethel-Thompson getting the start for the Elks. The late game tonight in the CFL, we'll see Hamilton in BC, an 8:30 Mountain kickoff for that one. LA Kings defenseman Drew Doughty will undergo surgery to repair a fractured ankle and is considered month to month. Doughty was injured during the first period of the Kings preseason game with the Vegas Golden Knights on Wednesday. One of the greatest to ever do it, Christine Sinclair, international football's all-time record goal scorer, announced today that she is retiring from the sport at the end of the NWSL season. In CIS, the number 9 Alberta Golden Bears football team will be in action versus the Saskatchewan Huskies out at Griffith Stadium, a 7 p.m. Mountain Time kickoff for that one tonight. Golden Bears soccer up against Saskatchewan tomorrow and Regina on Sunday, both games 2:15 at Foot Field. Panda soccer will take on Lethbridge tomorrow and Saskatchewan on Sunday. Kickoff for both of those games, noon at Foot Field. Scores around the MLB right now. The Tigers lead the White Sox 2-0 in at the bottom of the 5th. Phillies trail the Nats 6-0 in at the top of the 4th. And the Toronto Blue Jays down big to the Marlins 5-0 in the top of the 3rd. One final from earlier today saw the Cubs over the Reds 1-0. President's Cup heading in to tomorrow's action. It is tied 5-5 between the international and U.S. squads, and Virginia Tech currently leading 7th-ranked Miami in college football action in the first quarter of their game. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. The Saturday Sports Setup is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Kevin Carius and Brandon Douglas back Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. and Fox Sports Radio up next. I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free